Nirvana. A little foreshadowing to the GPS this Sunday. Saturday. GPS, Seattle. Late 80s, early 90s.
3 p.m. East, Deep Tracks, Channel 27. It was a fun one.
Yeah, no one ever talks about Seattle in the 90s. It never gets brought up every day. Yeah, yeah, it's sad. It's sad the way no one ever talks about that scene. But you got to do it, and it's, good news for Flipper because he sent us these songs a long time ago. And I think it was Chris said that he didn't have enough hits in there. Like, you got to give us a couple hits.
Just some.
I'll just say that, by the way, this is the Bennington Show. I'm Ron Bennington. There's Gail Bennington.
Yo.
And I'm Ron Bennington. Now, Flipper said, absolutely for the Seattle scene, no Pearl Jam. They got their own fucking channel. They got enough. And I'm like, dude, you got to put Pearl Jam in there. You can't be that anti-Pearl Jam. People love Pearl Jam.
You can't deny history.
Remember how that whole thing was supposed to be something about Eddie's grandmother made this jam that had...
Yeah, Pearl. Her name was Pearl.
Yeah, and the jam you would trip off of, I don't know what was in it. And all that shit. Eddie said, that never happened.
Oh, that was made up?
It was just fucking some kind of urban myth or churban myth when the CHR meets urban.
So many people have told it to me, I just accepted it as truth.
I accept everything I hear as truth. Speaking of which, Chris is going to tell us about a missing big-ass girl.
Yeah.
One of those Instagram big-ass girls.
Oh, no.
Bigger than Jen Selter, not just in the ass, but in followers.
Huge.
I like that you dropped the H, too. I do the same thing. People get mad at that. I'm not going to say huge. Huge. It's huge. Huge.
Huge. It's huge.
But that's one they get mad at. Oh, God, do they fucking rage against the machine on that one. So we'll get to that in a little bit. It's up on the iBang, and you just want to see the girl's ass. But she's found, it's okay, but spectacular ass. But when she's telling her missing story, you just hear what a little girl she is.
Wait, so she went missing and now she's back?
Yeah, she's back. She was just on a madcap Mexican getaway, but nobody knew where she was and the phone wasn't working. And so the internet went, her manager, the manager of her ass. I don't know if he manages all of her. Put up some stuff that had she has millions and millions of ass followers. And then they all went crazy and she had to come back and cut a promo about what happened. And it just it may or may not be true what she's saying, but really she's a kid. Give her a break. Who knows where she disappeared to,
I like the idea that we're so used to you posting constantly on social media.
Right.
You can't have a vacation.
No, that's a very fucking true point. Well, look, I was talking to Duncan Trussell last night, right? So this is what he tells me. He's moved to Brooklyn from LA, which until you move to the city, you have no idea what exhaustion is. It's just you're dealing with terrible people and you're getting used to a new city. I remember the feeling of I need to sleep 18 hours because it's just tiring when you first get here. So Ari said, take my apartment. I'm going to, and I don't know where it is, someplace on the other side of the world, near fucking Vietnam, right? So he says he's there with Ari, he gets her that day, and Ari's like, okay, great. Enjoy my apartment. I'm taking off. He says Ari throws his phone into the kitchen drawer, rips a big bong hit, and out the door he goes. And no one has heard from Ari now in a month. A month, I believe, today. And, Ari's not, he's Ari. I'm talking about Ari Shaffir, by the way. I don't know if I even said that. But then Duncan's like, at what point do I start to worry and say, has anyone seen Ari? Because he went on his own. He went for this kind of, walkabout thing.
And he doesn't do social media anyway, right? He's not really...
He got mad at social media. He's back to a fucking flip phone, blah, blah, blah. But he also has no one to call. It's like when we were talking to Annie yesterday. When you have a relationship with comedy, you're like anything else will just be fucked up. So there's no one for him to call and no one to call him. But it's been a month and he's in a third world country.
This is giving me terrible anxiety.
See, that's the thing. I shouldn't have said anything.
I know. I wish I didn't know about this.
But that's the deal. This is what he wanted to do.
Terrify his friends
Yes.
and loved ones?
Yes. He wanted to drop off the planet. What is he going to do? Call Big J and say I'm okay?
I'd like him to, yeah.
I don't know. That would have been a good idea.
Touch base
I'm going
with
to be
Jay.
totally honest. I would have felt better if he would just call Jay. He doesn't have to call Elvis. Just call Jay. He's the center web.
I would like to, that's true. Maybe just make an Ari phone tree. You know what I mean? I call you, you call someone else, and then, everyone
right.
finds out he's okay.
Myanmar is where he went.
Oh.
Do you know where that is?
It's Southeast Asia, Myanmar.
Okay.
It used to be called Burma, I believe.
That sounds like a fucking blast.
No.
Eric in Colorado has a spy report.
Spy report.
Oh boy. What is it,
Good morning,
Eric?
Bennington.
Hey.
Good morning, Bennington. So, John Wetton of King Crimson and Asia fame passed away this morning.
Oh man. Everyone bitched about 2016, but this is 2017.
Just as
It's
bad.
a bad rock start. Yeah. I did a show with Ron and Ron back in Florida. We went out and we booked Asia on the show, right? And they showed up, and I got to tell you, I mean, it's not like I know everybody who was in Asia, but these guys were so young. I'm like, I don't think that's fucking Asia at all. So we're like, and they're like,
I mean, you don't know enough people from that band that you would be able to prove it.
right? But they shouldn't have been that young, and they were incredibly nice. And we were like, should we ask them how many members? And I'm like, no. Then we'll know. You know what I mean? If a scandal comes out of this, so we were like, oh man, I hope the fucking, we had this big crowd. And we're like, Asia! And they're like, heat of the moment! And people are like, yeah! And I'm like, this is fucking just let it go.
Yeah.
Let Asia be Asia.
It's working out.
Yeah. But I don't know. I don't know. I couldn't even slightly tell you. Matt, Long Island. Matt.
Hey, Benningtons. Good afternoon. How are you?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, saw you on Saturday at the stand, Ron, and I got to tell you, I laughed so hard with my wife. We had a great time from top to bottom. I mean, you and Artie and everybody else.
It's the stand gets unbelievable shows.
It was great.
Yeah.
I mean, it was such a small room, and I was sitting right in front of you. I was the guy who had to explain what Tinder is to my wife.
Oh, yeah. I remember you.
So, anyway, I was just curious, getting back into the comedy game for you in terms of like doing a set like that. Could you give a little insight into your process? Like, do you do this? Like, do you run it by people?
None. You saw me. There's zero process. Here's the shit my pants and keep moving.
You're being unmasked right now.
Yeah. No, look, I wish I had a mask. I wish I could say, here's what I do. I remember right before I went up last night, I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm walking up there and I'm like, let's see, Trump. I heard some people talking about Trump. I wish the fuck I had a process.
You got the number joke, you got the other number joke, then you shit your pants and get off the stage.
Shit your pants, get off the stage. I do, poor old Negroes love my power, think it's a Cadillac. I do area codes.
Did you do another show between your shows? Did you go somewhere else?
Yeah, I'm just doing shows. I'm just running around like a fucking 23-year-old comic. No, but that's very nice of you, Matt. Last night, Aaron Berg does his Frantic show, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There was so many young comics fucking hanging out. Like, I felt guilty going up there. Like, these guys would kill to get this spot that I'm getting. And I'm like, oh, fuck, it's late. I should be home sleeping. You know what I mean? Like, I felt guilty, but luckily, like, I fucking had a good set because I thought everybody would be like, why is that fucker there?
And this guy gets to walk up on the stage.
Dude, I know they think it. I mean, I feel a little guilty, right? I feel a little fucking guilty when I see them and I see the hunger in their eyes. But they run fucking comics through there like I can't believe. And I was talking to Duncan Trussell about it. He's like, fuck, everyone in New York is good. And I'm like, yeah, it's fucking true, dude. You know what I mean? Like, you'd like to come in there and just fuck around and not give a shit, but you're just following three guys who fucking, were eating it up And when I say guys, I mean guys, girl, you name it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there isn't any kind of, like, there's a traditional person, an alt person, young fucking black kid from uptown just fucking swinging it. I mean, these comics are fucking great. Great.
Yeah, everybody brought their A game that night, that's for sure. I mean, I laughed genuinely for 90 minutes. It was great.
Yeah, and then, like you said, Artie Lang's going to pop on, who's about to do a theater tour.
When I bought the tickets, I didn't even know he was going to be on the set. That was like a nice surprise that night.
Dude, that's how it feels anytime, even when he's booked. All right, thanks, man. Appreciate it, Matt.
Hey, man, take care. Thank you, guys.
But it's a really, really fun night every time. And again, it's just smoking. It's just smoking every show. Comedies, it's some kind of crazy. Oh, Bob the Drag Queen was hanging out last night.
Really?
Yeah, just hanging out.
I love Bob the Drag Queen.
I know you do. All right. I want to get to a couple of things. I think one of the kind of funniest thing happened Super Bowl week. And Friday, we're going to have the comedians with their Super Bowl predictions, right?
Yes, we will, yeah.
Over 30?
Over 30, yeah.
Wow. And that'll be up on the iBang too. But what's funny is Super Bowl week is these reporters on Tom Brady asking him about the ban of people coming into the country.
What? Really?
They won't leave him alone. Tom Brady for years has golfed with Donald Trump, right? Donald Trump owns golf courses. And, all Brady's got to do is give him a call. Trump will say, yeah, I fucking got you on at this great club, if I'm available, I'll be there. They've done this for years. And Brady doesn't think about anything but football. You know what I mean? Like a lot of these guys, they get outside of their chosen path, and it's like fucking asking a scientist about music. I mean, they just don't know anything else because they've worked so hard. So Brady now has to say, look, Donald Trump is a friend of mine. I don't know what he fucking does at work. You know what I mean? And they're literally demanding that he rescinds his friendship with Donald Trump.
Well, the funny thing about that is I would never say that somebody in sports should not be political, just like, actors, whatever. If you want to use your platform to do it. But I do think it's wrong to force someone to do that. Like, it's up to you as a sports star to take a political stance or comment on something political.
I would probably guess. I mean, I can't guarantee this, but I would bet Brady's never read anything but a playbook in his entire life. You know what I mean? He's so angry that he didn't get fucking drafted in the first round 18 years ago that he can't drop it. You know what I mean? He just stays as, I'm going to show these fuckers. I'm going to show just calm the fuck down, dude. You've already shown us. You belong here. Now stop deflating footballs and just fucking play your game. But they're demanding, these sports reporters, that he takes some kind of stance, And he's like, look, he's a friend of mine. We go golfing. I don't know what else to tell you. So he won't back Trump as a president, and he won't attack Trump as a president. And they won't get off his dick. Now, here are the Patriots that have been, if you look at the coach and the quarterback, it's unbelievable what they've been able to do. I mean, the 3 more Super Bowls than Bradshaw had. When you look back at the Steel Curtain, which, some people might think of as the best team of all time, their time of being dominant was half of what the Patriots did. And I'm not saying even as many Super Bowls as you can win, just as long as you can stay at the top being competitive in the game every year. About half. Because you can't hold this thing together. And 23% of the people polled, and it's up on the iBank today, want the Patriots to win this game. The rest, over 77%, want them to lose. Hate the Patriots. Hate the fucking Patriots.
Do you think that has to do with Brady, or that just has to do with that's what happens when you're a winning team? that you get the reputation that people are just like,
They
seem to be.
They should have a better reputation. Like, it should be half and half at best. I mean, I get hating excellence. I hate excellence all the time. You know what I mean? I do. You know what I mean? You want to beat the best. You know, and when I was a kid in the backyard, like just throwing a ball up and hitting it, you know, I'd be like playing against the Yankees, hitting the fucking home run that destroyed the Yankees. Because they were the best. That's a fucking dream to have.
But when the Cowboys were the best, of course, that was a more 50-50 because, like, half the country just loved them because they won all the time and it was decided that it's America's team. But then the Patriots don't have that at all. Like, that, they could easily have had that status as well.
Look, first of all, you should hate the Cowboys, and any civilized person would. But I was talking to Keith Robinson at the stand. I'm going to name check the fucking stand again. And I was saying, how does a kid from Philly like the fucking Cowboys? He's a Cowboys fan. And Keith said, when I saw that star on that helmet, it was a pedophile's candy for me. They could have got me in the back of the van with that star on the helmet. And I get that. When you're a little kid, you like helmets. But the fact is, this is even more than should hate.
It's almost 80%. It's fucking most people are disgusted by Brady, Belichick, and that fucking team.
The Patriots do not have the helmet page effect in which someone sees the helmet.
No, they were never. See, the thing is, they weren't a glamorous team until these two guys. Yeah. The teams that we're talking about, the Steelers, the Packers, the Cowboys, the Raiders. They're probably the big four. They were 70s, 60s, and 70s teams, right? So people there's a tradition of loving / hating those teams. The Patriots were basically bums up until this year. I mean, they got in and got their ass kicked in, I think, maybe 2 Super Bowls before, only one. The Bears fucking crushed them.
Yeah.
All right, here's Tyler in Pennsylvania. Tyler, what's up?
Hey, 2 things. First, it's like a once in a life. This is like Babe Ruth. I mean, it's like a one-time history thing, and you got to appreciate it while it's happening. You can't just hate it. I mean, it's unbelievable what they do for the amount of time since 2001.
It's unbelievable.
It's incredible. And then 2, does Stanley beat off to Tom Brady on a nightly basis or a weekly basis? And I'll take my answer off the air.
Well, here's the thing. You've always said fuck Tom Brady, right? That was
you.
Always.
I mean, what happened? I mean, now I see you give him a lot more respect, but I knew you as somebody who would have joined in on fuck Tom Brady.
Who are you picking?
Oh, I picked it months ago at the Thanksgiving show. Give me the Patriots. They're going to win the Super Bowl. I had it. Look, I can't go back on that.
Now, people also hate them because they've been caught up in some, minor cheating scandals over the years. But all teams cheat. The Raiders, people love their cheating scandals. Yeah. They used to fucking laugh their ass off. Well, the Raiders would go out and fucking water one part of the field.
That's what they do?
Yeah, they bugged the locker room, supposedly. They fucked with the other people's Coke. That was their deal. They didn't get the same pure Coke that they were fucking doing. That the snake used to enjoy. So, there's something hateable about Belichick, right? But you could say, I don't know why you can't love an evil genius, where you can't go, oh God, that's hilarious how evil he is.
Like, I remember that he ran some weird play against the Ravens like 2 seasons ago that got them into the fucking playoffs, and everyone's like, how could he possibly do that? Well, he figured it out and held it in his pocket for years until he knew it would fucking work.
Right.
Sorry, fucking John Harbaugh, you got fucking punked out. Like, you look like a bitch.
All right, relax.
He really did, because he got so angry.
Stop being a child. You're not 17 where you're going to say punked out and you look like a bitch. He's a fucking professional coach. There's only 32. So he's not any of that. Here's a thing for you, Gail. Mm-hmm. And I know John Lynch, who was part of the big Tampa thing for years.
Yep.
Out of nowhere, is hired as the general manager of the San Francisco 49ers, a job that normally doesn't go to an ex-player.
6-year contract. That's a long time.
Yeah.
And apparently he just volunteered for the job and they took him. That's like the fucking rumor.
Well, everybody volunteers for a job. He interviewed for a job. He called them up and said, "See, you have this position."
I don't know if that's a volunteer situation. He said he'll take no money.
No, he's going to be well paid. But the thing is, Detroit just looms now because of that fucking nightmare. But Lynch, and I know he's probably, to me, he belongs in the Hall of Fame. I got to see him because we lived in Florida, play a lot of games. And that, only Ronnie Lott, I think, hit harder from that position. But I don't know whether he can do this or not. I can't tell you. Sean in Carolina.
Hey, Ronnie B.
Yeah.
I hate to call you out on this. You were talking about Brady reading nothing but a playbook. I'm thinking that script for that Beauty Rest mattress commercial was exquisite.
It's very fucking funny. I just don't think, and I've seen this before, a lot of people that excel in their job are so dedicated to it that I don't think Brady gets up and reads the paper every day, let alone sitting there trying to figure out what is the right thing to do politically. I just don't think that he cares.
All he cares about is his diet, which is also getting attacked right now. People are just shitting all over the way he eats. And football. That's it. Because the diet affects his football.
Okay, just relax for a second. They're not shitting all over it. There are people who are doctors who said this is not helping.
They're attacking him.
Now, what's the deal with his diet?
He's one of these guys that, a bell goes off and he has to drink some green mush.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he wants to stay in the games. He's 39 years old, which is as old as you should possibly be still playing. And he looks great. You know what I mean? He looks great. He's like, I want to play for another 10 more years. I mean, the thought of him not playing football just scares the shit out of him. And I get it. You spend all those years being good at something. You finally have the wisdom that you want, and your body gives out. It's a fucking really, it's just a tough deal. It's just the way the world works. So he's doing every little thing that he believes. But it's just like if you say you do acupuncture, there's always doctors to say there's no such good thing as acupuncture. Any fucking medicine you take, there's people to say that you shouldn't. It's Super Bowl week. So all these little things come up. I mean, the amount of reporters there. And they're just screaming at him about his diet and Trump. And, Trump firing the fight. He doesn't
Brady, do you agree that the Attorney General should be fired?
And then they're going to make, finally he goes, you know what, I guess Trump is a bad president. And then they'll put out a thing that goes, Brady shits all over Trump. This bitch doesn't know what, I don't know what hell
He's been punked.
He's got punked out.
He just got punked out.
He just looked like
an
a
ass
bitch.
fucked. Because people, they have, despite all of the success that Tom Brady has had over years, there's always going to be some people who write songs about why they don't like him.
It's Giants time in the Super Bowl. Eli Manning and Antrell Rose gonna win. Yeah, dominate, baby. Gonna fuck the shit out of Tom Brady. That's right. Lawrence Times, kick it in your face. Yeah. Tom Coughlin, give it some bass. Bob Dylan said, gonna fuck the shit out of Tom Brady. Tickle me Elmo, no tackle me Osie. Belichick, Brady, all pussy and pussy. Giants Cape Fear, Eli's Max Cady, gonna ruin your boat. Badly, Tom Brady. Break it down, Roy Schaefer. Come on! It's a David Max Sports program. Subscribe on iTunes, Daddy, and listen on Sirius XM. Wyclef Jean is from fucking Haiti. Gonna Fuji your shit, Tom Brady. Pirate says, ahoy, matey. Gonna watch the plague and fuck you, Tom Brady. With the Giants, damn Nick Coleman is 80. Fucking dagger your ass, Tom Brady. Woo! Yeah! David Max Sports program. You know what time it is.
First of all, great song. Second of all, work a little harder on the lyrics.
They made sense at the time.
He's from Haiti.
No, they didn't. I remember at the time laughing, saying this makes no sense. Kev, in Providence.
Oh, hey, buddies. It's
hey, buddy.
Kev in Providence. So I am a Patriots fan, and I can understand the hating of, like, the greats. At the time, like, in the 90s, because I'm a Red Sox fan, too, I remember hating Derek Jeter with the heat of 1,000 suns. But was that nationwide, or was that just like a New England, like a Northeast thing?
I think it was more of a Boston, New York thing. People don't pull the same kind of thing for baseball as they do for football. Everybody just pays attention to their local team. But, there are teams that are fun to hate because they are good. And the Yankees have always fit that. The Yankees have been hated since the fucking 20s.
Yeah.
Because they cheat, they buy their way to the top. But until I moved to New York, I didn't know the love that these fucking idiots had for Jeter. I mean, they had Jeter in a Mother Teresa way. And I remember I'd be at Bar 9, and there would be these guys, and I'm not even making this up. This is a fucking direct quote. And they're like, if I had to fuck a guy, it'd be Jeter. And I'll tell you why. I go, first of all, you don't have to fuck a guy. You're just sitting around thinking about Jeter. And second of all, why did all you fuckers start this with the same thing? Like, none of them would just sit around and say Jeter's a great ball player. It had to become into his sex appeal, his sexuality. And seriously, if I had to fuck a guy, Jeter.
I always like that conversation when it comes up because it's always like, yeah, nobody was talking about that.
No.
And by the way, if you're forcing me.
First of all, if you're going to have to fuck a guy, you don't get to pick what guy you have to fuck. Somebody's raping you.
That's how it works.
You got to say, if I could choose to fuck a guy.
This is actually the most delightful rape. I really feel like I'm being considered.
And I know a lot of them just wanted to get that basket of tchotchkes that you get the following day.
You get signed balls, you get a jersey.
Jeter swears that that's not true.
Wait. He says that he gives out tchotchkes to his ladies?
He never said it. People said it about him. They said when he left. And Jeter was a guy, Jeter, the amount of women that supposedly he was with that he didn't flaunt, it wasn't like John Mayer going to the Grammys, getting their picture and being good for both their careers. It was just like Jeter would pick them up at a club, model, actress. They say taped because he always wanted to prove that he didn't rape them. So he videotaped it. And then the next morning, when one of his guys was driving them back, in the back seat with them, there would be a lovely basket of concession prizes. I think there was caramel corn, signed Jeter jerseys, signed Jeter ball, 8x10. I mean, so they could leave feeling like a winner.
That's so nice. I wish that was true.
God, he's great.
It's classy. You realize you said God is great. Al in Maryland. Al.
Ronnie, hearing that song only makes me laugh and think about the picture of Davy Mack sound asleep at the Super Bowl.
Well,
it still makes me laugh these years later. This is the funny
thing. So he goes, some fan has a ticket for him for the Super Bowl, right? And Davy Mack goes, it was in Indianapolis. And you ever see that they'll do these pictures that you can see everybody and you can, in the whole stadium, and you can move your thing around and say, and we went and found Dave's fucking seat and he's passed out. Passed the fuck out at the fucking Super Bowl. And it wasn't like somebody took a picture, Mo Davis passed out. We went out of our way to find this giant fucking picture that they take, like Sports Illustrated or somebody took it. Today will be your last day to get in on this. Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara Unmasked blew up yesterday. Unmasked with Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara is happening Monday, February 6th, 3:30 p.m. at the Sirius XM studios. Sirius XM bringing you excellence in satellite radio.
It's beautiful.
That's the new tagline.
Nice.
We have to say. Now, here's what I understand. Kathleen from the Bronx wants to come, and she never does this. She asked for a +1. Does that mean Bri-Bri's making the scene?
Oh, please. Whoa. I hope so.
No one knows at this point. Right now, nobody knows.
I'm going to be really starstruck. I was starstruck just thinking about Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara. Bri-Bri?
That's the day after the Super Bowl. I don't even know. If I'm coming in, I might shoot heroin. I'm so excited about the game. This may be the last time that you're going to see the coaching QB combination of Tom Brady and his coach, Hans Gruber. Two of them together. Should be exciting. All right, so let's get into the big-ass girl and her missing thing. First of all, Chris, show Gail some Instagram pictures so you can see what we're dealing with here.
So her name is Summer Rae.
Is that her real name?
Come on.
Not sure.
No.
Now, where would you put her in a Jen Selter combination? Vito, I'm going to go to you first. And then I also want you to ask the new interns.
I mean, me personally, Summer Rae, been following her for a while now, too. She's pretty fucking
Why haven't
great.
you ever brought it up, Vito? Because she's fresh news to me. Fresh news.
This is the first time I've heard of Summer Rae.
Yeah. Summer Rae makes me feel fine.
Summer with an O. She's a fresh little 19-year-old looking great in these pictures.
Okay.
Creep.
He's young enough that he can say that.
Here's the thing with Summer Rae. So you see that ass, and you're like, oh my God, that's an amazing ass. But then when I heard her describing how she was lost and all, I'm like, oh my God, that's a little girl.
Oh, really?
Just like we talked about Tom Brady, the ass and mind don't come together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sometimes a woman has ass maturity.
Right.
That she does not have mentally.
That's a mature ass.
I mean.
Now, Chris Stanley, Selter, Summer Rae.
I've loved Jen Selter for years. You know that.
Yeah.
But this Summer Rae Instagram account, she just shows the ass off more. It's Summer Rae. She knows what she's doing.
She shows the ass off more. That doesn't even make sense. Gail, you're an ass girl.
I am. I am an ass woman.
Yeah.
I would say for overall thickness, I'm going to go with Summer Rae. Because I think Jen Selter, she's got the bubble butt, but she's like so tiny everywhere else that this is just like this girl's just generally juicier, I would say.
I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say it without even have to contemplate it. Jen Selter is still the girl. Because this ass is going to get away from her. I see that happening right now. I mean, I already think it's past where it needs to be. And Jen thinks and works on that ass as a 24-hour business.
That's her livelihood. This is
it's her passion.
But I like this better because this is like a natural ass. There's something that there's a little bit
worked on.
Yeah, a little.
It's not fake. It's worked on. I mean, she's constantly working the ass. It might be a little too hard for you.
But I'm surprised that Chris Stanley would turn his back on his love, Jen Selter.
Chris, what do we call the new intern?
As right now, it's just Greg or Greg Dog.
First of all, Greg Dog is out the question because we are fucking creative people, not morons.
Weird.
I want to call him Around the World Greg.
Okay.
Or Greg at Night as salute to Nick at Night.
Or Sweet Greg.
So, Around the World Greg. Australia, you lived everywhere. You've seen both asses?
Yep. I see them.
Give us your first impressions.
From behind, it's a good view.
Yes.
I gotta say.
Yeah.
I gotta go with Jen though.
Thank you very much.
She gives she's a fitness model.
Yes.
So kind of gets me in the mood to,
all right,
go out and.
Okay, gotcha.
Good. I thought he was in the mood to masturbate.
We've just met, Sweet Greg.
It's not,
By the way, there was Aussies at the stand last night. They have no jobs. And they're fucking just hanging in New York for a while. I don't know where their money comes from. I'm going to guess shooting people. Here's a dude that we know. I mean, is it wrong to call him Mr. GPS?
Call him Mr. GPS.
Mr. GPS, Connor.
At your service.
Yeah.
So between these two asses right here, I'm going to say Jen Selter, and I have my reasons.
Okay, good.
Because I feel this new one, she doesn't work for the ass, so it's going to go at some point.
It's natural.
It's going to get away from her.
So it's natural, but it's also naturally going to.
No, yeah. I mean, it's a shooting star. This ass.
I feel from a scientific perspective here.
Good. So we're tied at 3-3. I mean, it went 3-0.
Wow.
Before me and the turns, you know what I mean? We're hurt. Before we started taking it to the streets. This is up on the iBank today. You can see, and by the way, this girl has millions of followers. I mean, I'm the last to hear about her. And I only heard because Chris sent in the story. But I just play it for a sec. So here's the thing. Her manager puts out, this ass is missing, right? Mm-hmm. Now, to the ass fanatics of the world, this is unbelievable news. I mean, this is like the Lindbergh baby.
Yeah.
You know? But what happened is they went down in Old Mexico for no apparent reason to look for a beach. I don't know. The story is a little, now there's a backlash that no one believes her thing, but just play it for a second.
So we just want to clear everything up. So we're making this video to clear everything up, tell you our story, the true facts of what happened. And yeah, so me and Maddie are in LA, and Anthony, my manager, takes the unexpected family emergency trip to New York. So he's gone, and me and Maddie are like, what other beach could we go to? We go to all the beaches all around California. We don't know what other one to go to. And Maddie's like, I've been over the border. I've gone to those beaches. Like, it's only a few hours away. And we're like, okay, let's do it. Like, we're spontaneous.
All right, stop it for a minute. This ruins everything.
I think it makes it better. She's so great. Also, she is wearing a Nirvana shirt to promote GPS Seattle.
And she also has great hair.
She has great hair.
She's a nice kid that they went down to Mexico. They got caught up in a couple of weird things. They didn't have their phones.
Nope.
And why is there a backlash now? I'm not believing
and
the
I'm
story.
like, okay.
So this is, all right, so
she's like, I've been down there, and I was like, okay. So
then she said, we said okay, but there's just the two of them.
A hashtag was started, pray for Summer Rae. And this was about
St. Ferris.
16 hours into it.
Yes, it was a St. Ferris situation.
And then her other ass model friends.
Beautiful. Big ass. Boom, boom. Go ahead.
So her other.
Oh, yeah. Boom, boom, boom. Pray for Ray. Come on, Chris. Tell the fucking story.
All right, so all of her other ass model friends.
Boom, boom, boom.
They started posting, where's Summer? Please, for the love of God, someone find Summer.
Yeah.
Everyone, and then 2 days later or a day and a half later, she posts this YouTube video. Everyone's
good.
Like, this is bullshit. That it's up to her manager put her up to this to make this video. She wants to start a YouTube account and become a YouTube star because she's only doing Instagram. This is bullshit. She was lying the entire time. How could she have forgotten her phone in her car? Like everyone,
I don't think she didn't forget her phone in her car. She said her phone was out.
Her friend, her like assistant girl's her assistant in the video. She apparently fell, or she dropped her phone and broke, and Summer Rae forgot her phone in the car when they parked.
Dude, they probably ran off with two young fucking jitterbugs.
Yeah.
And were fucking, jitterbugging it up for fucking 48 hours.
She was using that ass.
This sounds like a kid's response. It's not trying to, I don't think they're trying to get money out of it.
That's what people are thinking. That they just trying to.
What about you thinking once instead of being part of the Reddit hive mind?
I know they want to start a YouTube account.
Well, you're just copying what you read on Reddit.
No, I'm not. Everyone's just saying that this fucking manager.
Everyone again.
People online are saying.
Why can't it be you, Chris? Why can't you speak for yourself?
I have my own theory.
You didn't. You just you adopted their theory. That's not having your own.
No one's talking about the YouTube thing.
But let me just say if Vito agrees. Vito, do you think that Chris is just being a fucking measly fucking part of a hive?
The only thing that makes it seem really sketchy is the manager that put this up. They found his email that he used to promote this, and it all led back to some sketchy Facebook with one friend. And other models are saying like, hey, I think this dude's lying.
Look, here's all you need. First of all, thank you for.
I'm also not going to take models' advice.
Yeah, I'll just say
model community.
Model community backlash.
Beautiful, big ass. Dun, dun, dun. Oh yeah. Why would you care one way or another?
The internet's very angry with this young lady.
Oh, Ken, you listen to the internet. You listen to the internet, you fucking millennial. Why don't you just be yourself, okay? This isn't a fucking Astoria hipster beer garden. This is you. You're being a person now.
I'm going to follow Summer Rae.
You should.
I'm going to refollow Jen Selter from another account. I feel bad for Jen. Jen travels the world with that ass.
She does, yeah. And she sells products with that ass.
Sure.
She spends time with family with that ass.
Summer Rae can't even go to Mexico without something happening.
I'm still Team Ray, though.
All right, Liz sets fire. Here's Queen Elizabeth first. Ron, as the aspect, ass expert, I am going with Jen. Now, Queen Elizabeth has an account that collects nothing but asses of guys and girls. All right? And she takes Jen Selter. Now, Liz sets fire, definitely better than Selter, ass and face. Liz, we never got into the face work here. And that face could be easily covered with a big pair of Jewish glasses.
It is split right now, though. Like, we are right down the middle, Team Jen and Team Summer Rae.
Even down to our two ass experts, our two girl ass experts. By the way, none of this would even come up if Stavy Baby, his account wasn't taken off by Instagram.
He's been taken off Instagram?
Yeah. The reason I was told, and they don't give you a reason that you're taken, but he did a thing showing a reindeer simulating going down on him. And he never should have done that.
But a real reindeer didn't go down on him.
No, it wasn't a real reindeer. Please, there was no reindeer hurt during this blowjob.
In fact, he liked it.
And we demand the return of Stavy Baby.
Oh, absolutely.
What do you think of her face, though? She's just got a kid's face.
And she's 19 years old. She's just a child.
No, but if we're going to have the face conversation.
You can't go by age.
Yeah, she has a beautiful face. She's a beautiful young lady. She's got great hair. She's got a great face. She got that ass.
Her face is a little more porny than Jen Selter's, though.
A little more what?
A bit like porn. She has like a porn face.
Yeah, because porny isn't a word. So you have to fucking explain that. That's pornier.
What's so porny about her face? I find Jen Selter's face to be kind of porny.
All right, enough with the porny faces, everybody.
None of them are doing porn.
Look, we're on the side of both these girls. And thank God this ass was saved down in Old Mexico.
By the way, I also love, like, Summer Rae's friends. Because she's just like, she's so vacant. Like, her expression there is like literally nothing is happening.
That thing that you call vacant is California. You run into that all the time in California.
She's a Californian.
California. This reminds me of an email we got from Nina. She said that she was born and raised in L.A., and, you know, there's a lot of talk where L.A. now says they want out of the union after this last election. I mean, they voted against Trump like they were New York City. I mean, it was just, so they're like, they don't get it. They're like, why are we still in America? We're California. We're big enough to be a fucking country. So Nina went to this website and then read the comments and had no idea, being a native Californian, why the rest of America hates on California and rips them all the time. And I didn't know that she didn't know that. I think it started I thought the blowback started all the way back in the 70s and All in the Family when Archie Bunker said that place is filled with fruits and nuts. And the whole country, but yeah, it's true. Why are we idolizing them? Now, did you know that everybody hated California, Chris?
I know people thought they were like flaky, but hate? I didn't think they
hate.
Yeah, there's a deep jealousy. I think, first of all, they got the Hollywood thing going for them. They got great weather, which seems to irk people sometimes. That they just have perfect weather all the time.
And beautiful women, you know what I mean? Like, seriously, did you ever hear when somebody said, like, you always hear this, you'll see some hot girl in the club, and they'll say, Yeah, well, she's an LA 6. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then you even hear from people who grew up there that don't look like the perfect LA look, but they're attractive people, that their life was a nightmare. So, A, it's hating the pretty girl that represents California, which I would say goes back to, Michelle Phillips was the first kind of, there's a perfect, pretty California girl.
I can relate though because I've only lived in places that have a status where they're loathed. One, New York values, which was a common thing. And then Florida, I didn't know until I left Florida that people just thought it was just, Florida man, straight up.
That's actually grown over the years just because of ridiculous, that they don't hate Florida, they almost pity Florida. They make fun of Florida.
Yeah.
Florida is America's redneck cousin that they can,
Oh, yeah.
out.
It's treated as the sideshow state.
Yeah. Step right up. Let the sideshow begin. Hurry, hurry. So, yeah, people do hate California. And they think it's very liberal.
Yeah.
And they think it's very PC. I mean, they were the first state to start to bother people for smoking.
Yeah.
And then it caught on.
And plastics and recyclables are really into that stuff, and that bugs other people.
But,
they like to throw away stuff.
But just like the pretty girl in school, you hate her / love her. That's how people feel about California.
Right. Like, you hate her until she's nice to you.
Right. She's
and
the
then
popular.
You're like, actually, she's not so bad.
Here's the thing. California is the popular girl.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to drop the stand again. There was 2 Swedish girls there last night.
Mm-hmm.
I made the mistake of saying they look like Edgar and Johnny Winter. That's forgotten in this country. People do not remember Edgar and Johnny Winter. I get it now. But in the middle of that crowd of New Yorkers, they look like 2 angels, right? Now, the background of the native California is the Swede, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Swedes went out there. Some Germanic people were there too. So that blonde thing exists. Now, I also think of LA people as being very cold. I don't think of them as warm people, like the Swede, like the German.
Yes.
They're not going to be there for you when the shit really hits the fan. They go on. Like, if you're in California and you're a coke dealer, right?
Yeah.
You're going to have an amazingly hot chick. But when you're busted, she's going to be with somebody else. You know what I mean? She doesn't take it that hard. She doesn't crash with you. You don't have the Italian gun ma waiting for you when you get out. She might even be with you again when you get out. But in that meantime, she's going to go to the beach. She's going to get high. She's going to enjoy her life.
Find some other coke dealer.
Well, coke dealers are going to find her, Chris.
Good point.
And I mean, it's like this young girl that you're assing up again today. Summer Rae is a California ass. Jen Selter, hardworking Jewish Long Island ass.
Now I feel bad for choosing against Selter.
Do I got to wake you up, Vito? Turn around and look at your thing. Manage that back there. Try to tell me what that fucking name is there, Chris.
Austin?
It looks like autism if you look the way it's spelled. Austin, what's up, buddy?
Yeah, just talking about those LA Sixes, man. We got those same things out in North Dakota.
What do you got?
They're all 2s. Because I'm from Bellevue, which is right next to Seattle, and those are some fine women out there.
Okay. Yeah, but you're not famous for it, dude. I mean, if they were, they'd go to fucking LA and try to make some money off it. Everybody's got pretty girls. I'm not doubting that.
Yeah.
But every girl who gets to be the prom queen and she acts gets off a bus every year in fucking Hollywood. You know what I mean? Like every June, the buses are just filled with pretty girls from all over the country. It's cheating. Is what it is.
Right. I mean, New York has beautiful women, but it's not at the forefront, the first thing, the way it is California. East Coast girls are hip.
Yeah.
Dig the styles they wear. That's kind of more their thing.
But what about the Southern girls? The way they talk?
Well, they knock me out when I'm down there.
The Midwestern's farmer's daughter?
They really make me feel all right.
That's what we're fucking saying, folks. We grabbing it? This is one time you're supposed to be tappy. What's it like? What the fuck? You just heard us do California Girls all that time.
Yes.
Oh, Jesus.
This is a Summer Rae song.
What a beginning to a song, huh?
So good.
Here's Keith. Keith.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
Hey, I've been around the world a few times, and I live all over the continental U.S., and the only place you're going to find truly warm, kind-hearted girls that still have that ass and are still fine, Texas, man. That's the only place you're going to find that.
You know, all my exes live in Texas, but yeah, the Texas girls have their own thing there too. But they're yeehawing it up, and they also get married at like 14.
Right. And it's not always boots. You know what I mean? Sometimes boots,
yeah,
but it's
boots
not for
is
every
fine
occasion.
every once in a while, but it's not 100%.
And like cowboy hats every day. You know, once in a while, sure.
Where do you think the most underrated girls are in America? Underrated.
Wow.
Because you got obviously Florida runaways, New York City models, LA actress / waitresses. I'm going to throw one out, and it might shock the world. I'm going to say there's some very, very pretty women in Minnesota.
Really? You just can't tell because they're all bundled up.
Well, they're bundled up, but they've got the Swedish, Norwegian background there.
What about really hot Philly girls?
Come on, man. Meet me fucking halfway. I mean, the hair can't be that hard, and neither can the heart. But I'll say this, a Philly girl will fucking back you up. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
absolutely.
Like, if you're anywhere else and you're being jumped, it's going to be like 3-on-1. If you're on a date in Philly, it's fucking 3-on-2. They're going to show up and ready to be there.
That should count for something.
Chris in PA.
Hey, I'm hearing Nashville girls are really up and coming in terms of like hotness in the country. But,
well, here's the Nashville girls. It's an interesting thing that you bring up because they're coming from all over the South to be in Nashville and maybe make it as a country star. So yes, there's very, very pretty Nashville girls. Good call.
When you guys were talking before about Swedish, my wife and I took a trip to Stockholm about 10 years ago, and we were walking through the streets. We had to use the bathroom, so we saw a McDonald's, ran in there, and to this day, I have never seen a more beautifully staffed McDonald's in my life. Every girl working there was between 16 and 20, blonde hair, blue eyes, 5'8", freckles, whatever you name it. And there was another American in there with me. We were just staring at the staff that worked at that place.
First of all, I don't expect Swedes to have fucking freckles. That's a shocker to me. I expect
very light freckles, not large freckles, light freckles.
These Swedish girls at the stand last night look like two angels. Like literally, you know, and then you think about it, like when you think of angels, you know, they did put it in and it's just going to be blonde people.
Yeah, and fair-skinned, like glowing, blonde, fair-skinned.
John in North Carolina.
I gotta go with Cajun women.
Well, they're interesting.
Very unique look.
I mean, seriously, they're absolutely interesting.
Much like Cajun women, much like a Boston girl, that accent is also an acquired taste. Like, it's cool, but it is an acquired taste.
I acquire it fast, no matter where I am. I'm an accent person. But it's cheating to add personality to the mix. You know what I mean? You're just saying you see this woman and it's unbelievable to you. And I have seen models in New York that are 6 foot plus that don't even look like human beings. They're so attractive. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like they get that almost alien look.
Yes.
Where you're like, oh, what is this strange thing where they look like deer because their eyes are like really far apart.
Yeah.
They actually just look like, please pray on me.
I would pray to them. Kurt, North Carolina.
Hey, Ron. West Michigan has this extremely dense Dutch population, so there are these 6-foot, blonde-haired, blue-eyed girls everywhere. It's the most magical thing in the strangest place. It's great.
Western Michigan.
Yes, Grand Rapids to Holland. It's just full of Dutch women. It's amazing.
All right, thanks. Now, why do we find the blonde hair and blue-eyed so attractive? It's a weird thing that we somehow put that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that kind of started changing over the last 20 years probably. There started to become a little bit more preference to like a Latina look. But the standard before then.
The standard.
Like the 80s standard?
And it still exists. It still
absolutely.
exists.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It still exists that if you're somewhere and I mean, people do go out of their way to dye their hair blonde trying to fake it. And that, I believe, maybe even something Trump should take a look at as far as being a new law.
But I do think it's interesting because for some reason you'll be more likely to call a girl attractive if she's blonde. Like someone will describe someone who is just an average looking girl and they're like, you know that really pretty girl? And then you're trying to think and you're like, oh, you mean person with blonde hair.
Right.
Oh yes, I get what you were trying to say there.
Let's go over here to Eric in Ohio.
Hey, Ron.
What's up?
Me and my buddy, we went out to visit his son. He's in the Air Force out in Arizona. University of Arizona is real close to there, so we went over and hit some bars around the area. I couldn't believe it. I mean, every kind of girl was there, blonde, brunette, you name it. But it looked like it was a school for models. It was crazy.
We're going back to the same thing. You know what I mean? It's always about the blonde. Mike in Atlanta.
Hey, Western New York area, Buffalo, all around the Great Lakes. You mix up the Polish girls and the Irish girls and some good Eastern European food, and you got a bombshell there.
You know what you're going for there when you're talking about strong, good women. Right. That are going to ride it out through the winter.
Right.
For you.
Hardy.
But no one is going to look at them and say, honey, you should be in movies. You know what I mean? And again, I will agree that any of the urban centers where you can make money or Miami where you can make a lot of money pole dancing is cheating.
Of course.
That's cheating because it brings girls in from everywhere.
But I will say Miami with the Cuban influence also. Even if it didn't have that, I think there would still have its own unique flavor. But there are too many people who just flee to that area.
Runaways.
Yeah.
Little, crazy runaways.
A little runaway.
Tim in Montreal.
Ronnie, you've been there. Montreal is unbelievable. The women are just dressed to the nines. It's a phenomenal city. I remember I was there about 25 years ago. I would literally get up in the morning with my buddy, go down to the downtown area, sit on a bench, and watch the ladies.
When we were in Montreal for Just for Laughs, I was amazed at the amount of ass cheeks I saw. Full-on Daisy Dukes walking down the street, and I was like, I had no idea Montreal girls were so free with the ass.
It's always been that way, too. There's always been real short shorts in Canada. My feeling was it's a long, cold winter, and then you want to get the ass out in the summer. All right, the President of the United States tweeted this. Now, you have to remember this is the President of the United States, the President of all of us. And whether you voted for him or not, we never saw a president like Trump. He tweeted this today. Nancy Pelosi and fake tears Chuck Schumer held a rally at the steps of the Supreme Court, and Mike did not work. A mess. Just like Dem Party.
This is very strange.
He's a different kind of a dude.
This is very strange.
Yeah. Hey, Kyle. What's up, buddy?
What's up, guys?
Yeah.
I'm 32 years old. I'm single, and I live in Southern California. I date all these, I date a lot of women out here.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is with California women is they are beautiful. They're all into yoga, and they all work out a lot, and they all go to the beach a bunch. but they're dead inside.
Yeah.
As opposed to the rest of the country, the women actually are a little bit grounded.
No, I didn't want to go so far as say dead inside. That's what I called them, cold. But I meant cold like death. They are. And,
yeah,
and
man.
it's just not the women. The men are cold too. Yeah.
It's like you try to have a conversation with them, and it's about their Instagram. That's all they care about. It's crazy.
Yeah, there is. I mean, it's kind of a cliche, but there's a thing about a successful guy, right? You go to California and you get the great job, you know, you're in show business, you're fucking running an agency, you marry the blonde, you have blonde kids, and one night you look into the mirror and you're like, what did I do with my life? And you fucking just take your razor and just start to slice your throat and your wrist. And everyone's like, he had everything he wanted. But the thing is, that dude finds out how hollow it was. And he has this fucking sex bot of a wife, sex bot of kids, you know? Everybody is blonde. The fucking, there's just nothing there at the end of the day. And you just kill yourself. You just have this moment of clarity where you kill yourself. And your wife finds the fucking body, you know, just covered in blood, and she's standing over you, putting makeup on as the EMTs are coming. And she's thinking about her yoga and her fucking sushi that she has to cancel later.
She's worried about the interview she's going to do with the local news.
Do you ever see The Player?
Yeah.
That fucking cold bitch?
Yeah.
That's what they think of all the time.
I remember when I was out there, any conversation I felt like I was having, they're just not conversationalists. They're not very engaging. So anytime you say something, it always felt like I was just met with like, okay. Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, oh, does that mean we're done with what we were talking about? Okay.
Up on the iBang today, Bill Burr explains why Trump won't build a wall. He's got his 5th special coming out in about 10 years. It's really been on it. Up next with Mark Norman. It's a really great photo series. That's up on the iBang today. And one more time, GPS Seattle this Saturday, 3 p.m. Deep Tracks, Channel 27. Now, there's a Yinzer in Pittsburgh who has put out the idea of naming the Pittsburgh airport after Mr. Rogers. I think the Mr. Rogers Airport. And one of the ideas is, as you come into the airport, you take off your hard shoes, you put on some nice slippers, and you put on a sweater, and you head through.
And hopefully everyone will just be hand puppets who work for the airport.
Yes. You'll talk with them. Isn't it nice? Lining up here today.
I can't talk about Mr. Rogers. He makes me tear up. Just the thought of Mr. Rogers makes me cry if I think about him.
Why? Did he say something mean to you?
No.
That's fucked up.
Called me fat once. No, he's just like this. I mean, he's like the sweetest, kindest soul. Like if I just
Would you name an airport after him?
Yes, I would name anything after him.
All right, then you would name a toilet after him.
I would name Summer Rae's ass the Mr. Rogers
That's attractive. Mr. Rogers ass.
I think it's a great idea to name an airport after somebody who wasn't a president. You know what I mean? Who was just an all-around good guy.
Yeah, and it's not a very controversial thing. Like, who doesn't like Mr. Rogers? You're crazy if you don't like Mr. Rogers.
I'm going to tell you the truth. I never found him to be that entertaining. He droned on a little bit. I need a little action and a little more cartoons in my programming.
I thought he was just like the perfect level of chill. Like his voice was just like such a comfort to me. His like sweet little lessons. He made everyone feel so important.
Oh, that's nice. But I had Gene London, a local guy, and he was still good enough to show us cartoons. And then I had our gal Sal, who also, Sally Starr, she also showed us cartoons.
Now,
Pixan, she was a little pixie that lived in the woods, also showed us a cartoon. Wee Willie Weber was just a man in a suit, but he was good enough to show us cartoons.
Yeah, but did they ever take you into a factory to see how different plastic items were made?
Hell no. They just said, here comes another cartoon coming your way. I like to be entertained, not educated. I'm like, look, save that for school. All right? We're off of school right now.
This is me time.
Yeah. And me wants to see some cartoons. I want a cat chasing a fucking mouse and the mouse pulling the upset off. When we break here, it's we on a Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Bennington Show. Right back. It's the Bennington Show on a Tuesday. GPS Seattle this Saturday, 3 p.m. Deep Tracks coming up in just a couple of minutes. One of the people I find to be one of the funniest people on the planet, Kathleen Madigan, is going to be here. New special, Chris, is that it?
Yep, she's got a new special up on Netflix now. Yeah, she's great. She's
unbelievable.
It's been a while since we've seen her, too. I think that was probably last summer is the last time she was in.
Yeah, well, you know, she's a big star. She's not some New York City hangout.
Right.
She's everywhere. All the time. She's great.
Okay, so I have a question for you guys.
Good.
Who is your, and this is going to sound morbid, but who would you say is your dead girl or dead guy crush? So this would be a person that is not just...
You don't even have to say it.
Okay.
The person's gone. You can't be with them, right?
Right. But I would also say it's not somebody who recently died or something. They have to be before your lifetime.
Well, before your dating time, I would say.
Okay.
Easy for me. Edie Sedgwick.
Oh, that's a perfect one.
Always thought that she was the sexiest, craziest thing in the world. Anne Margaret is still alive. Sophia Loren is still alive. People are already writing in living people. You're talking about
I'm talking
a dead
about,
girl.
Yes.
I'm in love with a dead girl.
This is your dead girl crush or dead guy crush, if that is your preference.
That's Chris's preference.
Chris,
Newman.
Who is your... See, and
First
again...
of all, that's not a bad one.
But I still feel like if you were an adult when they were an adult, it probably shouldn't be a thing. You should at least have been very young while they were...
I get.
Yeah.
I always loved Betty Page. I thought she was fucking crazy hot.
First of all, that's obvious for you because you're a Betty Page. You know, your girlfriend was rocking the Betty Page thing.
Yeah.
That's a classic look that to this day still gets beloved.
And it's also beloved by the tattoo girls, which is his thing.
Oh, yeah. Like a pin-up look. Like they fucking love it. There's been a giant resurgence.
And but my problem with her is the gentle S&M. You're either into S&M or you're not.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Hers is like little whips and things like that.
I don't find the spanking to be funny. Are we fucking playing this game or not? I don't want to act like, hey, we're kind of spanking.
Ouch.
Ouch.
Now, this came about because I had saw this website that it's something to do with old photography. I'm forgetting what it starts with a D, but it's the classic first processing where people find old photographs of people like some Civil War guy or something and be like, this is your old school crush. I wish I could remember. It's I want to say Domergue, but that's Daisy Domergue from the Tarantino movie. But I have one that I got really obsessed with, and this is 16th, maybe early 17th century, 16th century crush.
This is a shocker for me.
This is a sculptor that I learned about. His name is Gian Bernini. And I saw one of his pieces, was like, oh, this is awesome. Just started looking him up and then developed a legitimate crush on him, his work. And if you look him up, he has self-portraits. He was a total doll. That's when he was older, but...
You know who he looks like? He looks like that guy that he's in a lot of movies now. He's in the new Scorsese, but he was in Girls.
Adam Driver.
He looks like Adam Driver.
He does have, he's got hipster vibes. He's only putting old man pictures. I'm just going to show you when he was young. Okay.
All right, that's very attractive.
Like he's got like a sexy weirdo thing. He's like a crazy, amazing sculptor. And then I just started getting and then I'm like, I think I have a 17th, 16th century crush.
You know, I would think was almost a boy crush is everyone goes through a Jim Morrison thing. Girls and guys.
Absolutely.
Girls want to be with him, guys want to be him.
I thought I thought that I had a Doc Holliday crush, but I realized that was really just a Val Kilmer crush.
It's weird because I had a Big Nose Kate thing that went on for a couple years. I love the idea of her. Sarah, Chicago.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
We're cool in the gang.
Yeah. So I'm calling because I just wanted to let you know that I had opportunities to see you in New York playing The Stand, and you were absolutely amazing.
Well, that's very nice of you to say. All right, we met Sarah in Montreal, and then I saw her. You were doing your comedy vacation. She takes comedy vacations.
Nice.
What do you call them, Sarah?
I call them communications.
Communications, right? So I see her in New York, and she had been to a bunch of shows, and she was running around and I'm like, dude, you got to work for the iBang. And she's got a story up now, notes from a comedy junkie, and she lives in Chicago, which is a really great Chicago scene, comedy scene that we don't always cover. But you're great, Sarah, and I loved your piece.
Aw, thank you. I mean, it came from the heart, honestly, and I really meant it. Like, you know how to finesse the crowd.
Oh, stop.
And I see a lot of shows. I mean, that's my thing. I'm not a comedian. I'm going to tell you, I'm not a comedian. I just truly enjoy the art. I enjoy the intelligence. Humor, wit, it's a form of intelligence. And when you see a comedic mind at work, I just truly appreciate it. And you work the crowd. You know how to do it. You don't rush. You give them time to trust. You give them time to let their guard down. And then you really, really, really get somewhere with them. And
you're very nice to say that. But I love the idea of what she does, because like if you go to see like a lot of bands, you're gonna be far back, and you'll see it as it can be a lot of fun. I love music as much as anybody. But if you go to the Moon Tower, you're gonna be you're seeing some of the greatest comedians, and you could basically hang out with them. I mean, it's amazing to me how many comics just hang out with the audience after the show.
Oh, that's the best part about it. Yeah. Like, if you really are a fan, and you work up the nerve to say something, they're always used to people hanging out afterwards, grabbing a drink, and it's a very approachable art form. Right. And I think it's also really open to anyone who's interested in learning about it. There are always somebody who are mentor types.
Yes, we'll talk about it all the time. But Sarah just shows she can just go and get into these intimate things, and it's great. I hope you stay with the writing, because I think your writing's terrific.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it. I hope to. I mean, as long as you appreciate what I'm doing, I'll keep with you. I'll keep submitting. But I'm telling you now.
What shows did you see in Montreal when we saw you up there?
Oh gosh, in Montreal I saw a bunch of This Is Not Happening with Ari Shaffir.
Oh yeah.
That was great. Oh my gosh.
The missing Ari Shaffir.
I had no idea. He was going to be one of the storytellers. I was like, oh my God. I saw him walk in. I had no idea what I was in for. Can I just tell you, when I signed up for Montreal, when I booked my ticket, because I heard Jeff Ross was going to be doing Roast Battle down there, or up there, I should say, and I was like, I'm in. That's it. I'm in. And
she's a major Jeff Ross fan.
Oh, big. I love Roast Battle. And I called the hotline. I didn't even know. I'm like, do you have a hotel you could recommend? And they're like, we recommend the Hyatt. And so I booked it. I literally walked through the door. I saw Sam Morril and Todd Berry to my left, and Andy Dick walks out of the elevators in front of me, and I'm like, I have arrived. This is heaven.
It's really funny in Montreal the way everybody will use that giant Hyatt. and then the bar looks like a weird painting of this comedian.
Yeah, it's a very surreal experience because everybody this last summer was my first time going, and I had nothing to gauge it on other than, of course, everyone saying it's a comedy summer camp. And
Right.
I was like, oh, that's cute. I had no idea it really was like that. Everyone is hanging out. The lobby's insane. It's a blast.
It's so much fun. I'm going again this summer.
Yeah, it's going to be a great one. We're definitely going back to Montreal, and I think that we should. I think that we should go to Moon Tower in Austin. I think that would be great.
Oh, that would be so much fun.
I would love to go. I've never been to Austin.
I definitely want you to see us do our 101 show sometime too. Maybe we could take that to Austin because that is an insane fun night. And we're doing this street joke thing. I don't even know the format for it yet, but we have fun when we just put comedians together like that.
Yeah, that's going to be fun no matter what.
Yeah.
It's going to be a blast.
Very cool.
All right,
but
darling.
So you're going to be at Moon Tower?
Yeah, I think we're going to go to Moon Tower. I'm just deciding right this second.
Well, now I've got to work on that.
All right, we'll stay in touch with you, okay? And thanks for all the kind words, and check out her article. It's really, really great. It's notes from a comedy junkie. Chicago fan takes a comedy vacation in NYC. But you got a great scene there in Chicago as well. All right, we'll talk to you soon, Sarah. Bye.
All right, have a great night. Bye-bye. Peace.
She's really nice.
What a sweetie.
Yeah.
Kathleen Madigan is coming to the studio. Kathleen's special, Bothering Jesus, is available now on Netflix, and she's on her Bothering Jesus national tour. Go to KathleenMadigan.com for tickets.
Let's bring her in. That was exciting. That's exciting.
That was very exciting. That was Jan Arden, the Queen of Canada.
You just made me wonder, why don't more comics have their own personalized entrance music? That's crazy.
Because we don't usually know music. I don't know any musicians. I only know Jan because she hosted a comedy night in Montreal at the festival. So that's why I met her.
You've never opened for a bunch of musicians or bands?
Never. I've never been asked to do that. And I don't, maybe I don't know. I guess I would. If the money was right.
But you headline your own world. You have your own part of comedy that you just own.
Yeah, I don't go do that.
Your fans are your fans.
At this point, yes.
Yeah, not necessarily comedy fans. They're Kathleen Madigan fans.
Yeah, and I think we're all aging together, which is perfect. You want your fan. Lou said, Louis Black was saying that he was getting these Trump heckler people at his shows, which is weird. If you went to a Louis Black show, you would think you would understand. And he said, you're talking about him. How come nobody's yelling at you? I said, it's a different fan base, Lou. Mine are borderline alcoholics that kind of care, but not enough to heckle. That would take energy.
Yeah, that would take energy. But I think it's funny that you say that your audience is aging with you, because if I ever want to feel young, I just go to a Steely Dan show in New York, and I just feel like the kid.
I'm doing okay for myself.
Very, very young.
I made Bill Engvall once walk into, I think we were in Reno, in the casino. Styx was the New Year's Eve band. I'm like, come on, let's go see this time capsule. And that's sort of my age, but at least I had new jeans. Come on, people, come on. They stopped when Styx had their last hit. Right. That was their last of their wardrobe. They're still smoking the same cigs. Yeah. Come on, guys. At least graduate to a vape pen or something.
The idea of somebody going to Louis Black show and not knowing what they're getting, it's interesting though, but I was just telling this to Gail today. When I walk through the city, here's Trump, 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 Trump. If I'm in a restaurant, what do you think of Trump? I've never seen a conversation that just doesn't go away.
Dominates.
Yeah, dominates everything.
Yeah. I've learned more about government in a week than I have my whole life. So I can thank Donald for that. Because every day I'm like, wait, what? Can you do that? Can you do that? Seriously? You could just get a pen and just sign this menu he's writing on, or whatever he's writing on his little leather binder and his echogram signature.
Yeah, that signature is amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lot. There's a lot going on there.
Yeah.
Somebody on the news will have one of those.
It's well practiced.
People. Yeah. You would know if Donald wrote his own ransom note. Yes, he is dominating the conversation, which I think he likes.
Yeah, he does like it. Now, for you, when you go on stage, do you try not to bring that chaos that you're thinking?
Well, no, I do, but I talk about Bernie, talk about Hillary. It's like a section, so I start with Bernie. So we ease into Donald.
Yeah.
But it's all, my stuff is always it's innocuous and I'm just observing it. I'm not taking a side on it.
Right.
Versus Lou would be very opinionated about those things. I'm pointing out the absurdity, which is what I've always done, because I do think, for the most part, it's absurd. This whole thing has been absurd.
Right.
I mean, the most absurd moment was when Bob Dole, who I thought passed away in the 90s, seriously, we haven't heard from Bob in 25 years, called the press conference to tell Republicans not to vote for Ted Cruz. I'm like, what is going on? And he didn't take any questions. It was breaking news on all the networks, and here comes Bob. I'm like, oh my God, he is alive, and he's got something to say. And whatever he said, I said, I'm going to do it. Because if you went through all that crap at age 92, you put on pants, you ate breakfast, to say one thing, to watch the Republicans dismantle. Mitt Romney calling the press conference to say, he kept using outdated slurs, calling Trump a charlatan. I'm like, what else you got, Mitt? Come on, let's crank that Mormon up. He's a charlatan. I'm like, Mitt, nobody knows what that is anymore, okay? People are now Googling the word charlatan. Yeah, I've never seen anything like it. So I don't think, I mean, I talk about all of them. People laugh. The only time I ever got, really heckled was I used to do a joke about Sarah Palin. Her people just saying her name.
Right.
I hadn't even heard what I was going to say. Just one lady, old lady, she was hammered in Florida, was like, I love you, Aunt Sarah Palin. Don't do it, Kathleen. I haven't even done anything. And I'm like, ma'am, it's a simple joke about being the game warden of Alaska. It's not really about Sarah personally, so.
Sarah hasn't played any part in this Trump thing. It's kind of surprising.
It's very strange.
She showed up kind of early on his campaign. Then it seemed like he kind of swept her under the rug quickly. Yeah. And, we haven't heard much from her.
I'll tell you who else is missing that has been friends with Trump for years. Regis.
Really?
Regis and Trump were very close in New York City for years and years and years. And you never see Regis talk about Trump at all. It's very odd.
Maybe Trump was using Regis.
Yeah.
And he used him up.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's what happened with Christie and.
Yeah. Chubby got the boot.
Yeah.
And he was the first one. That's what I'm saying. I don't know how other people can't look at this lineup and see the pattern.
Right.
And go, well, I don't want to be that, or then I'm that. Like, you're going to be next eventually if he keeps the pattern going. So I don't understand that. But I didn't understand the Sarah Palin thing, because she could be an asset to him.
Yeah. With the same people that
same fan base. Yeah. And then she can do the religious stuff that he doesn't want to do. So something must have happened.
Yeah. You never really know for all the stuff that's talked about. The fact is, it seems like Trump is only really tight with his family. And Steve Bannon seems like...
Yeah, who looks like an unhealthy Ron White.
Yeah,
and I can't even believe that I put on Twitter, I cannot believe there's a man that makes you look like you own a gym.
Yeah.
I mean, even their hair, well, Ron's hair is better, but they are... And then I Googled images, and there's a million of Steve Bannon with different looks and glasses. They all look like Ron.
Yeah. Yeah, Steve Bannon has the 15 years of coke abuse. Not doing it anymore, but it happened.
Well, and the red nose proved the track record.
Right.
Like, all those blood vessels didn't burst last night. That's an ongoing issue that you could get lasered if you felt like it.
I wish that I could credit this person, because there's like so many people just retweet other people's jokes.
Yeah.
But somebody had retweeted a joke that someone said that he looks like the character in a movie who's been bitten by the zombie, but they're pretending like they're not.
Right.
They're just like, I'm going to try to continue to look normal, but clearly they're like something really wrong.
Somebody put on Twitter, I like this one, that he just looks like a bag of potatoes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he does, just kind of lumpy. And
well, this is how weird the world is. About this time a year ago, Steve Bannon was doing a radio show right down the hall, and my guy was phone screening for him.
Oh, wow.
And Trump used to call into the show all the time. Maybe right as Trump was starting to run when nobody took him seriously.
He just called in and Bannon put him on hold to get to callers first.
It's hard to believe.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I was with him every day for 3 months.
Oh, my.
How did Trump handle being put on hold while he ran through some other calls?
His exact words were, you tell Steve he's the boss and I'll do whatever he says.
Wow.
Wow. What was the radio show?
Breitbart News Daily.
Oh.
Yeah. He just, cause he was running Breitbart and they gave him a show to cross-promote. How was he hosting a show?
It's mainly just all going to callers, like, them, like, reporting seeing ISIS around, which is really just people in...
A lot of ISIS they saw.
It's just people with a tan.
I just saw an ISIS.
Yeah.
Just saw an ISIS.
They're here. They're all here.
Yeah, a lot of them are down in Lauderdale right now. A lot of those ISIS people.
Wow, that is crazy to think he was just here a year ago.
Weird, right? That's the kind of world that we live in, that it used to be, you went into Congress and then you went into the Senate, you worked, and now it's just like, hey, he's a pretty popular guy, he might be able to win. Like, but they could easily run the Facebook guy next thing and nobody would be weirded out by it. You know?
Right. Yeah. Well, it could happen to us then. If it happened to him.
Yeah. And it's not like our past is worse than his. I always thought, I'm unelectable, but people came out of the woodwork to say shit about Trump. Didn't matter.
No, none of it mattered. And it's even like in crowds, I'd say they're 50-50. I say, well, we have a new president. Like half of them. I feel like we're in a car and the driver's hammered and half of the people in the car are like, floor it, man. Let's see what this car can do. And they're laughing. And the other half of us are like, I want out of the car. Stop the car. I want out. And no one's listening. The drunk is driving.
Yeah.
And God knows where it's going. But
well, I hope we make it. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, we're going to run off the road a couple times, maybe even hit a deer. But I just hope we make it.
The muffler's dragging, sparks are everywhere. Yeah, I don't know.
But a lot of people have felt so screwed over for so long that I think that they're glad.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? They're glad that everybody else is freaking out.
Yeah, there's a buddy of mine, Mark. He's a landscaper guy. He's 50, I'd say. And he said, I'm just sick of all of it. I want somebody from the outside. I'm like, I get that, but we did that with Arnold in California and Jesse in Minnesota. They're just sick of everybody. So, they want major change. Well, here we go. The ride's starting. And I think they're excited.
Yes.
They're truly excited.
Oh, yeah, it's fun to be in a drunk car. I'm not going to lie to you.
I mean, sometimes it's exhilarating. You gotta admit, you're like, wow, did we just catch some air?
I know this. I went through 2 windshields and I wasn't driving, but I was in the car and thinking it was a good idea. You know what I mean? One of the windshields I went from the back seat all the way up through the windshield. But you know what? Those are the memories that you have. Like, we're going to look back on this time.
It was good, though, that when your head was in that windshield, you did take credit to blame yourself. Well, I did want this.
Yeah, I wanted
it. I cheered it on.
Yeah, never put on a seatbelt either. Just figure we're all going. We're all going to have the time of our life. Chris, plug away, would you?
Kathleen Madigan's in the studio. Kathleen's special, Bothering Jesus, is available now on Netflix. She's also currently on her Bothering Jesus national tour. Go to KathleenMadigan.com for tickets and additional information. And on Twitter, it's at Kathleen Madigan.
Netflix, riding that big wave, right?
Yeah, and they're all millennials, and so I've never spoken to anyone. They're like, oh my God, please don't call us grandma. We don't use phones. Okay, just Snapchat the contract. Can you Snapchat the contract and never talk to us? That's great. We'll send you some emojis if it's good. Okay.
So they're all young running that company.
That's what I'm gathering because they won't talk and they do things. There's one girl, I know she hates me because I emailed a lot. Because you send over a little description of the thing, and then by algorithms, like at one point, my old special, it said, if you like this special, and that leads you to the most similar, the movie was Leprechaun. And I'm like, okay, that's not even the same genre. That's a horror film, I think. I've never watched it. Now I'm going to watch it. But it's great. I mean, they say, okay, it's going to be up on November 13th, whatever the date, and then boom, there's your movie.
Yeah.
It's very easy. They're easy to work with. It's just very distant and sort of like the wizard. That's like, they're the wizard. They don't tell you anything. They don't. But it all gets done, so.
Yeah, nobody knows how many viewers you have, but they seem to be, like I've seen it for some of the younger people, it'll be life-changing for them when they get a Netflix special.
And it's a permanent library. Like before when I've had HBO, Comedy Central, Showtime specials, they would tell you the premiere date, and then I'd say, well, when's it going to be on after that? We don't know. Will you know? Let me know when you know? No. Okay, this is a great relationship. Thanks. See ya. I could only tell you one time. So unless you've had me in a search or something, but now you just say go to Netflix and it's always on.
Yeah, it'll go to Netflix and it pops up right away. And then it does work like, oh, I've watched another special and they'll recommend, a special, which is pretty cool. I think that their best stuff that they do is the specials right now. Netflix.
It's a hot,
And it goes worldwide.
Well, yeah. Well, mine is mostly English-speaking countries, but the other one I think was like, places that people are emailing from India and Poland and on social media and stuff. I'm like, wow, I don't even know. I know I signed off on this thing that here's all the countries, blah, blah, blah. So,
have you toured Europe?
No, England and Ireland.
Yeah.
But like Lewis is a big fan of that. Like Lou will go to Holland and stuff, but I don't want to get into something where English is a second language. Comedy's hard enough.
People speak English everywhere, and there's expats. Like
there
people
we
live everywhere now.
We did shows in Hong Kong, so you can do it, but he gets a lot of locals, it's weird.
Yeah.
It is weird. Yeah. There's a comedian, Lois Bromfield, who I don't know why she's living in Germany, or I don't know, but she's doing like gigs like, oh, come see me Friday night in Nuremberg. And I'm like, all these comedians that say they're alternative. No, Lois is alternative. Lois has got a gig in Nuremberg. That's alternative. And in Germany, of all places, they don't seem like they're big laughers.
Tom Rhodes has always toured the road out there too.
The weird out there.
Vietnam and, and you're like, what are you doing, dude?
Who's booking that?
Yeah.
Like his stories of like just not coming home for like years.
Oh,
just, that's insane. Yeah, just like staying out there.
Yeah.
Well, there's a couple Rich Hall.
Rich Hall moved over.
England and
he was a TV star here.
And didn't he do Sniglets?
Yeah, he did. He was the guy who invented Sniglets, and I think he also did a year of SNL. And then he went to England. And he goes, "Oh, I just like this better." And he became a star over there.
Yeah, he does the Irish Comedy Festival. They all know who he is.
Yeah,
he likes it. Maybe it's the weather.
Well, it's weird because some guys are really big in England, and it's hard for them to transfer over here. You know what I mean? Like they can sell at arenas over there, and then they come to America.
There's a couple Irish ones too. And we all see each other at the Montreal Comedy Festival, and then the Americans, the network people get all excited about that guy, and then it never. I don't know what happens.
Yeah, it's a tough sell.
Yeah,
it's a tough sell.
I think they get tricked by the accent initially, and they get excited because it seems different, and then when they really start breaking it down, I'm not saying the guy's not funny, but he's just another comedian.
Right.
It's not like anything that, glaringly awesome. But we're shallow people.
Yes, we are.
If you're an accent, you're already smarter and exotic.
It really seems like there's something happening there. You talk so
really
fancy.
It's fancy talk.
It does sound fancy to us.
But I also like that in different places, it's also like what the locals find funny can be so incredibly different. Like physical humor works someplace, like physical humor in Mexico or like puns in France.
Right.
Things that don't really translate, not just literally, but like we don't get it. We don't even understand.
Why the Mexican guys were like, why are you in a bee costume? Are we supposed to be cracking up right now? Well, remember,
they're always dressed like babies. That's like their big thing.
Bill Hicks was always bigger in England and Ireland and Australia than he was in the States. Yeah.
Well, I think we're exotic to them when we go.
Right.
It's this American. But over time, you still have to be funny. Like Bill was funny. So,
right.
You can't just go and... I think there are people that try that. Yeah, they'll catch on. Just like we do. They will catch on eventually. You get your $400 at the Comedy Store. That'll be the last time you're at the Comedy Store. That's about it. Yeah.
Kathleen Madigan's in studio. Kathleen's special, Bothering Jesus, is available now on Netflix. She's also currently on her Bothering Jesus National Theater Tour. For tickets and additional information, go to KathleenMadigan.com, and on Twitter, it's at Kathleen Madigan.
Is anybody nervous about the title of this? The people go...
No. Well, the children, Netflix never mentioned it. Oh, my God, why are you putting that? No, but they take liberties, too, that you're like, oh, my God, I turned it on to check on it, and they took the cover that we had agreed on off, and it was someone drew Jesus with a microphone. I'm like, oh my God, no, I don't want to start anything here. This is just a Catholic joke, and I'm Catholic. I don't want to go outside the realm and have people. I'm like, what happened to you have to email them, and then they're like, we were just fooling around with the algorithm things. Okay, we're going to talk to the people, and sorry. Okay, bye. No, nobody seemed to care about the title. I don't even know if they watched it.
Jesus with the mic was a big leap.
Yes,
that's kind of like, I'm Jesus. Yeah. I'm the one with the mic. Like, I'm not saying that.
Then it's my name under it. I'm like, I'm not. Yeah, now you're even freaking me out. Bad things could happen to me. I mean, I'm a superstitious Catholic at least.
You grew up Catholic. Were you in the strict sense, or?
Well, not with my parents, but I mean, we went to Catholic schools.
Right.
But like I said, the one thing I would guarantee if you sent your kids to a Catholic school is they will never join ISIS. Because at age 18, if somebody would have said, hey, can we speak to you about our religion for a minute? No, you're 18 years too late to that party, buddy.
Yeah.
Not happening. So even the Catholic school, it wasn't like my parents. Like when they went, like nobody ever hit me or I don't remember that stuff. So, as strict as an Irish drinking Catholic family could be.
Yeah.
Which the drinking kind of blows that all to pieces.
But it is really weird that was a real part of life for generations and generations and generations. And it's about the last two that just pretty much dropped it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Where now I was kind of raised like culturally Catholic, like the way somebody is Jewish.
You
and
were baptized because I did not want to wrist. You know what I mean?
Limbo?
Yes. Limbo's a frightening thing.
Yeah. Didn't they cancel?
They got rid of limbo.
Did they cancel? Did they cancel purgatory?
I think purgatory's still there. I mean, they get a little.
I mean, that's what I was counting on.
Yeah, me too.
I'm hoping it's still in. You can't do things like that. You can't cancel. Remember they canceled St. Christopher for a while? But then they brought him back.
Yeah.
I don't know what he did. Another miracle.
That's one difference. The Protestants could never understand saints. You know what I mean? Like the Protestants don't play the saint game. But most of the time, my mother would have us pray directly to saints.
That's where they got mad.
Yeah.
They don't like us doing that.
Yeah.
I liked that they all had assignments. Like St. Joseph is our realtor.
Yes.
Go get a statue of Barry. St. Anthony is for lost stuff. He's lost and found.
That was always that was a big one. St. Anthony.
We had the Encyclopedia of Saints in the back of the room in the classroom, so you could go and find if you had a problem. That's the bothering Jesus, because we were told you don't bother him unless it's a big deal. This has all been worked out, Captain.
Yes.
If you're missing things, speak to Tony. And if you need to sell your house, we've got St. Joseph for that. So it was like it was a corporation, and clearly it was made clear to me Jesus is the CEO.
Yeah, he was the top of it. I would always go straight to Mary. I would go in the same way.
Was mine too.
And I still hold on to it despite everything else. My thing was the same way that if I had bad news, I would tell my mom to tell my dad.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. And it was sort of a backdoor thing.
Yeah.
And she's a Jewish mother, so he'll probably do what she says.
Right.
He's well behaved.
Yeah.
So, plus I liked the idea of a nice lady.
Right. Me too.
Like it was more comforting than like God in the Old Testament. I mean, he's throwing crickets at your head. I mean, this guy has got a lot going on.
Yeah, he was scary.
Yeah.
The thought of God is scary.
Yeah. It wasn't comforting, but Mary was comforting.
Mary's comforting because I also found her to be petite, and I always like petite women. You know what I mean? Like she's a tiny little thing.
Wrapped up in blue.
I just felt like, I know Mary likes me, and I know Mary's going to forgive. You know what I mean? Because the women in my life always forgave me, even if they, were fired up at first, and then it's over, and we move on.
No grudge holding.
I can understand unconditional love from a woman. I don't know if I accept that from a man. I don't think men have the same unconditional love.
Probably because you don't have the kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's still a distance between you and your kid, but if the kid is part of your body,
I think there's some truth to that. That a man, that my father at least, and it seems like all the men I know, expect achievement out of you. They expect you to do stuff, and then you're like, "Oh, that was good." You know what I mean? But then my women in my life when I was little, they just loved the shit out of me for no reason.
You can just be there. You don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
You can just be you.
Yeah.
That's plenty.
Look at you sitting over there. Look at Ron. He's just sitting over there. He's like a little man, isn't he? Yeah. I'd be
Look
like,
at his hair. Look at his curls. His beautiful curls.
My grandmother once told me I could be a hair model. And I'm like, that's an option I'm going to look into.
And then you're like looking in the mirror later, like, oh, she's got a point. That's
really
good.
could do something with this.
Yeah. But you know that praying to women and also the saints is like a very pagan thing.
It is exactly
and like that's
pagan.
the kind of cool thing about Catholicism is like it's still a little gothy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's still got the gothiness about it.
The goth even of the, like, I think I would go to church more if I had a cool church.
Right.
You know, if it was Sacré-Cœur in Paris, I'll show up on Sunday just to see it, just to hang out in it for an hour. But in the 70s, the Catholic churches built a lot of, like, they almost look like you could just really start dancing to Saturday Night Fever. The big globe lantern thing. Like, there's nothing, way too dumbed down.
It's very expensive to build those old Gothic churches. Now,
yeah, but I think it's a calling card. I think it should be brought up at the next Vatican Council. Like, let's get some construction going here.
Go really big, giant bell.
Yeah, big.
Get some
huge.
gargoyles and shit on there.
Gargoyles are great.
Gargoyles are good. I mean, we don't have anything like the big, massive churches that are like Baptist and stuff. When you drive by those, like in Texas and all over the South, they have like an Olympic-sized swimming pool. They've got daycare.
Yeah.
They've got a whole thing going on. We need something, and I like the goth idea. Let's bring it back. Let's go major goth.
Yeah. Well, it's something that we were known for, you know. And I think the big mistake is that you don't run into nuns like you used to. Nuns used to be everywhere.
We're running
when I was
out
a kid.
of nuns.
Yeah.
My mom worked at a Mercy hospital in St. Louis, and there's a lot of Mercy nuns, but they were dwindling, and there were like 2 of them left, and they're like in their 80s in this massive, awesome Gothic convent that overlooked the Mississippi, like this really cool.
Yeah.
But I mean, where are we going to get nuns? Who's going to agree to it? I think they should change the definition of the job, like let you be a nun sometimes.
Yeah.
Mondays 4 to 6. I got it.
Yeah,
I could do it. I could do it. I'll do anything the church wants for 2 hours. But like to say it's for life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah. I mean, people in poor countries are signing up, but.
Yeah, it's still, you know, well, it's still very, very big with Hispanics.
And the Philippines.
Yeah.
A lot of Filipinos.
And Africa, too. There's a lot of African Catholics.
Yeah. The priest at my sister's parish is Nigerian in the middle of Missouri. I mean, we had to go, the middle of Missouri, you got to go that far.
Yeah.
to get this guy to trick him to come to mid-Missouri. And I'm like, oh my God, he probably feels so awkward. Like, we used to only have to go to Ireland. Now we gotta go all the way to Africa to find the guy that we can, no, Missouri's wonderful. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it.
Kathleen Madigan's in studio. Kathleen special. Bothering Jesus is available now on Netflix, and she's on her Bothering Jesus National Theater Tour. For tickets and additional information, go to KathleenMadigan.com and on Twitter at Kathleen Madigan.
Well, that's really nice.
It's very professional.
Yeah, he's good.
Great job.
He's good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's very smooth.
It's natural, isn't it?
One thing I wanted to ask you about, because we're doing something on him later, is Gary Shandling. And his life and where he fit into the whole comedy tree.
He was so like neurotically funny, but like a normal guy. Like he would come to Comedy Magic Club all the time. I helped him write a bunch of his Emmy, when he would host the Emmys, the monologue stuff. Nice, funny, fun, smart. As neurotic as he seems, he was like about weird stuff. That's the irony of like how he died like that. That would have been like something he would have thought about over and over and over, and just that was shocking because I mean I didn't even know. I guess in the Comedians in Cars I didn't watch it yet, but I guess he already had health issues, but not that health issue, and it was like he seemed way too young. But I'm getting old. I mean I don't know, but 60 is still pretty. When he's 60, that's like, or is he a little older than that? 60.
Yeah, I don't know where he was exactly like that, but it was obviously too young
when
to
Don
die.
Rickles is still alive,
Yes.
Gary Shandling shouldn't be dead.
Yeah.
It doesn't add up. When you see some of the old, Bob Newhart. I mean,
Yes.
those guys are still here. Great, but
Still
then you're
working.
Like it would be normal to hear Don Rickles passed away. You go, oh, yeah. You know, but
But, everybody remarks on the 2 TV shows that he did, and they were both brilliant. But I almost think that people should go back and look at some of that stand-up, because...
That was my favorite, even over the shows. He just liked doing those kind of shows because he's just like that outlet. But his stand-up, but it was also like sometimes he would come to the Comedy Magic Club, and I mean, he would get way off the highway, and it would go really crazy. Woo, where are we going? Hello, Gary. And then he would come back to what the material he wanted to try. But it was all still entertaining, even when he wasn't like knocking it out of the park. It was still smart, funny. He's just a smart, funny dude.
But he liked taking those kind of risks.
He did.
Yeah,
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
And he took the legal pad with all of his handwriting, even his handwriting would have told you really all you needed to know. If you went, whose notebook is this? Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm not going to go now. Crazy legs, have fun in here. I mean, it was just like there's drawings and then words. And I mean, if you really would think a person with some sort of disorder had written all of that. And he knew what it meant.
But you think that was his thinking pattern? I mean, that helped him be that unusual?
Yes.
In his stand-up?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it was just really, a bit of ADHD too, where he, like, the conversation would go to, I'm talking to you and go, why did they pick blue? Now he's looking at your wall color and you're like,
yeah,
come back.
And a lot of people would think that made him difficult. Like, I would see him in certain interviews where it seemed like it was difficult. But again, I think that we don't think enough that funny people think differently.
Yeah, he definitely did.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes I think I'm too, as my brother says, Joe Six-Pack, Sally Lunchbox. Like, I'm not odd. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I wish I was more odd, but the brain you get is the brain you get. But, like, his was... Yeah, it was hard to keep him focused. And then, but then what was amazing is like, we would work night after night at the club on this Emmy monologue, and I'd think, oh my God, like he's so scattered. He does not have this down. It is just ramshackle. And then he'd go on TV and it's like watching your puppet come out. You're like, be a good puppet. Do it. Bang your cymbals, monkey. Bang your cymbals. And he would do it perfectly. So he was when he really needed to be. He could fully concentrate and just hit a home run out of the park. But if you would have seen, the show at the Comedy Magic Club, you'd have been like, that man shouldn't be hosting anything. That was crazy. That was crazy.
How did you guys meet?
There at the Comedy Magic Club. Yeah, he walked by, and I mean, I knew who he was, and that was like a really famous person to me. I couldn't believe he was just in the green room with his weird notes, and he walked by me. He goes, "You're really funny." He goes, "You need to write my Emmy monologue." Like, I didn't even know the guy. I'm like, "Oh my God, no! Oh my God, no! You just saw me do 8-minute set. That's not enough to write your Emmy. No." He goes, "No, I mean, I'll do it with you, but you got to come down." And I said, "Okay." So that's how I met him.
And it was just the two of you sitting there.
Well, whatever comedian walked in too, but then we would go to his house, and then I think he liked that I am organized. Like my sets don't go crazy. It's boom, boom, joke. And I think he liked, it was trying to get someone to help him. I would say I helped him organize his own thoughts more than I wrote. I mean, I did write a lot of the jokes, but he's writing them too. It wasn't lazy. Like but he couldn't, transitions, not really his thing.
I just think that's so amazing that you had that unique experience. Like so many times that you go for jobs and whatever, you get them or you don't get them. Here's one that you weren't even looking for.
I didn't even want, really. Yeah. I was too nervous. I'm like, oh my God, no, I don't want to. Find someone your own age. Why are you talking to me? You're freaking me out. You're making me nervous. And I don't get nervous. You're making me very nervous. But he was so nice. He's like, so you'll come down. You'll be here tomorrow. Yep. The next day, yep, until I have to go do my job, I will come every night you want me to come. And I didn't know if I was getting paid. I didn't even care because it was Gary Shandling. I was like, this is just, and I wouldn't say that about a lot of people. There's not a lot of people where I would just bow out. Yeah. I have said, no, I'm good. I'm done. But he was just fun dude.
That's so cool. That's such a cool story.
And I didn't know until he died that, because me and Lou do a lot of stuff for cystic fibrosis and autism, and his younger brother died of cystic fibrosis, and I had no idea. Mm. Yeah. So.
Yeah, it was always strange because you would hear about these spiritual things about him, and then I don't think that he ever talked about it on stage.
No.
As much, but off
like
stage.
Buddhism and stuff.
Yeah, all
like
kinds of stuff. Yeah, like he was always searching Which
yeah,
was,
but then he'd still make some sort of Jewish joke about himself,
right?
Backstage. Well, because I'm a Jew, Mike. It was always like culturally, he was always going to be that. But then actual spirituality, he was definitely. He's going to read about all of them.
That's so great, man. You've gotten to do a lot of interesting stuff with your career, and now I think the place that you are with your career now, where it seems like you're totally in charge of it. Like there's a direct link between you and your audience.
Yes, that hump got over. And then people are like, well, what was the one thing? I'm like, actually nothing. It was the biggest compliment Ron ever gave me. He goes, Maddie, you did this one night at a time.
Yeah.
He goes, everybody else, I got the Blue Collar Tour. Lewis got the Daily Show. He goes through it. He goes, you're just one joke after another joke. I'm like, well, that's kind of the way I thought it was supposed to work.
But there was no outside tipping point for you. There
was never one thing. Each little thing helps somehow, and it just keeps building and building and building. And then I would say, honestly, Sirius Radio and Netflix are the things that now the people can find you more easily. And then you get your own audience. So,
but it is rare. I mean, Brian Regan has it. Like he made it off of his jokes.
Yep, he's probably. For a while, Gaffigan, then he just blew up into another level, but he did it boom, 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 without a thing.
Yeah.
Till the thing, now he's got everything. But yeah, I would put my career parallel to Brian's.
Yeah.
And we're about the same age, and it just kind of went to Letterman, Tonight Show, jokes. No acting, no none of that.
But I saw even the last show on that Brian did for Letterman, and he did that show like at least once a year for 18 years. And it's still, he had to win the audience over. And I'm like, you bastard. You know what I mean? Could you just pay attention to pure comedy so he doesn't have to do two jokes before you're like, oh, this guy's really funny.
You still have to go out. It's still jumping off a diving board. You still have to climb the ladder and go jump off the board. And it's always we're all still going, what am I going to open with? What am I going to open with?
Yeah.
What am I going to open with? It's like even Lou did Colbert last night. He's like, I don't know what to start with. I'm like, we can't be having this conversation 30 years later. Anything, Lou, pick anything. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Here, give me your piece of paper and I'll circle one. I'll just blindly circle one. You can do that one. Yeah, it's tiring to have to keep, but like I don't feel that way like in real life. If I'm in a theater, I don't feel.
You feel like these are your people. They trust you already.
Yeah, they trust me. They know this is going to be fine. It's fine. There's nothing weird about it But to this day, if I went on Fallon or something, those aren't necessarily my people.
No, they're
just people.
Yeah. And that's the thing is that you see, I don't know just how little they pay attention to what they think is funny. Like people have a good sense of humor and they like things, but they don't organize it the way they do music. Most of it, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
You don't have to be a Rolling Stones fan to know 15 songs by them. You know?
Right.
But then if you break, like, I see people all the time that think that, and they don't know who Louis C.K. is. And I go, I thought I thought he had saturated the world the last couple of years.
Well, and then you're under the, I think of all the times I got nervous that clearly I didn't need to be because no one was watching. But like by the time I got to Last Comic Standing, I had already been on, I had HBO, Comedy Central half hour. I'd been on HBO, all this stuff that I got all that nervous for.
Right.
And then Last Comic Standing, people were like, yeah, I never heard of you. And I'm like, oh, really? I was nervous all those times for nothing. Nobody was really watching anyway. It was a different audience because it's a primetime people.
Yes.
So I picked up more people from there. But like comedy people already knew me, John Heffron, because a lot of those people were like, this is crap, man. You people aren't amateurs. Nobody ever said we were.
Right.
No one ever claimed that. I interviewed, I didn't hide my resume. I told you, I've been on Tonight Show.
I've been up for 2 weeks, trying to write jokes.
It is weird. The comedy's a niche sort of deal, though. I think it's kind of like jazz.
Yeah.
Like, there are people that know, my friend Alonzo knows every single thing you can know about jazz. Miles Davis could walk in here and I wouldn't know what he looked like. I mean, he can't walk in here, he's dead. But if he were alive, I don't know one thing about jazz. Not one thing. And I feel some people are like that. Comedy's just not a thing in their world.
Yeah. Even though
except for movies. Funny movies, maybe.
Right. And they'll always say, like, if you say what comedian, like, Bill Murray. You know what I mean? Like, oh, does he?
Yeah. Fred Willard is hilarious. And he is hilarious. Yeah. But that's not what I meant.
But there's Bill Murray with 40 years movie star stuff, and that's where, they have to go. But then, if you look at Ray Romano, he had the one show, and everybody knows him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that show will have him 100% known probably forever. Even when he doesn't want to be.
But that was about the end of that.
Yes.
That was like the last train. He's one of the last guys who gets, even now, if you got a sitcom, and even if you're the star of it, I don't know that it would do what it did when Ray, the time.
Too many channels.
Too many channels, too many outlets, too many under 30-somethings that don't even have TVs.
Yes.
I mean, TV is gone. They have what they want on their phone, and I always ask them if I'm in a store and checking out if the person looks under 30. I'm like, do you have a TV? I'm doing my own personal poll.
Chris, you don't have a TV?
Don't have a television.
How do you? But you watch?
I watch, on the phone or a laptop.
I would go nuts.
Yeah. Well, we're old.
Yeah, I don't want to just sit there and watch a
I am
phone.
in my chair waiting for the nightly news.
I know.
Where's Tom Brokaw? I mean, but that's also too, like, so what good is a sitcom? That's what I kept trying to tell people in LA. A, I don't want one, but B, even if I did, you think it's more productive to be on that than to come in here? They're wrong. Sirius will do more than a sitcom. There's too many. It's too hard to find. You got to hear about it from people.
Yeah.
Like, that's how I'm watching things I'm watching, because somebody told me to watch it. I didn't know about it. If Lou says watch Man in the High Castle, then I'm going to go watch Man in the High Castle. But I would not have. Well, I might have picked that because it's not.
Everybody does. Everyone does tell you what you should be watching now. Too. Used to be TV Guide.
Terrible.
Now it's other. I know. Other people are just coming at you.
Shit.
I know.
What?
Yeah. Well, I'm afraid to say it. Like there's two things I'm afraid to say out loud in mixed company. I've never seen a Star Wars. They look at you like you just said, I'm wearing an adult diaper and shitting on myself right now. That's like the look. And what? Why? And the other one is, I just haven't had time. I didn't see Breaking Bad. And people lose their minds.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? And then what about, what's his name? The character guy where they talk about aren't you rooting for, I'm like, no, I'm not watching it at all. How can I have a favorite character? I'm not, you don't think you fully understand. I'm not, I would like to watch it. I'm not against it. I just missed it.
I think sports is the only thing I watch live now, which is weird. Like sports and news.
But you can watch that live on your phone.
Yeah.
So.
But do you want to watch the Super Bowl on your phone?
Well, no, but if we're riding around to gigs and if it's all like, it's better than not.
Yeah.
But yes, I want to see a giant. I want my football players to be as my life size. I have a TV that's so big they're life size. It's like they can walk into the building. No, I want a giant. Not only do I want a TV, I want it to be gigantic. And I like that curve one too now. I can't decide if I could get used to it.
Who are you pulling for in the Super Bowl?
Well, the Falcons, because that owner seems so fun. I mean, nobody paid attention to them all year. I feel like they didn't get talked about or anything. And Tom Brady, but then I feel like, I don't know, I've seen interviews where I liked Tom Brady. I don't like Belichick. Who does? I don't think Belichick likes Belichick. He's just a grumpy. I've never seen him smile. Even when they win. He's got his little notebook and he's walking around with his sweatshirt just all, gotta go get the plan for next year. Oh my God. Do you ever just enjoy it? I don't know. Everybody hates the Patriots, I guess it seems like, except Boston people. But the owner seems fun. They were all making fun of his dancing. All the players, they like him. All the players say nice stuff about him. So I would say, and I think Atlanta's going to win.
You think you're picking them?
Yeah. I saw the line was 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely take Atlanta.
Yeah, I feel like Atlanta too. I don't know. We'll just have to see the game, but I think it's going to be a great game. I'm looking forward to it.
I do too. I think for once it's actually, well, not for once, but sometimes they just fall so flat. Yeah. Sort of like the playoffs did, though. What happened, Green Bay?
I know.
I think beating the Cowboys took everything. Took it out of them. And then they show up and they're hungover, basically.
Yeah, they got crushed by the Falcons. I mean, that's what I was thinking. The Falcons cannot lose this. I saw 2 games in a row in the playoffs. They were amazing. But then the news starts to wear me down with, Belichick's a genius. Brady finds a way. And then, I'm hedging my bets a little bit.
Well, I was a Rams fan when they were St. Louis Rams, and he got caught cheating in that Super Bowl. and I haven't forgotten it.
You'll never.
And the Patriots won.
Yeah.
They beat us. They were so shocked. It was in New Orleans, just walking down the streets. It hadn't even registered they won because they weren't supposed to win. And our team, it was like we were broken. It's like, what's happening? What's wrong with my Rams? Kurt Warner, what's wrong with you? Call Jesus. Let's get on the stick here. And they filmed, what did they do? Filmed our practices or something?
Yeah, they like to film stuff and cheat and look into it. But people forget that because the Patriots went on to become a great team, if they hadn't, that was the biggest upset of all time when the Patriots beat the Rams, the greatest show on turf. But it's because they became great later that no one goes back and realizes how shocking that was.
I was there. It was shocking.
It was unbelievable,
Even the Patriot fans were shocked.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it was just quiet. It was so weird. And on the streets of New Orleans, they were, I gotta say, the Boston fans, nobody was in our face. Like, they were nice. I'm not even sure they understood they won. Like, no one was acting very celebratory. It was very sort of, we were all depressed and they were just walking around shocked. So it wasn't really a great Super Bowl to attend.
Grant, still a plug before we let Kathleen go.
Kathleen Madigan's been in studio. Kathleen's special, Bothering Jesus, is available now on Netflix. She's also currently on tour for her Bothering Jesus National Theater Tour. For tickets and additional information, go to KathleenMadigan.com, and on Twitter, it's at Kathleen Madigan.
Excellent.
We love you, Kathleen.
Love you
You're
guys.
always the best. We'll see you again next time.
Let's go out in the snow.
Bennington.
It's like a 140-character live journal. It's hashtag Bennington. Tweet it.
How many impressions you can do in 90 seconds.
Yes.
Yeah. Vito, you have the clock ready for this? All right, you ready? Many impressions you can do in 90 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. Vito, hit that clock. Homestar Runner.
What is it, some kind of a witch's brew?
Fabian from Pulp Fiction.
It's a big stock of blueberry pancakes.
Millhouse.
Nice doggy.
Angry McDonald's drive-through lady.
Give me my fresh cookie.
Owen Wilson.
Wow.
Florida woman.
You bet gator pranked.
Anime girl.
Mushy mushy.
Kate Capshaw.
Oh my God, is he nuts?
Kourtney Kardashian.
Kim's crazy. She's so weird, Bible.
Bernie Sanders' brother, Larry Sanders.
It is with great pride that I nominate Bernie Sanders.
Martha Kelly.
Oh, hi, Mrs. Basket.
Adele.
Thank you so much. It's so nice. Thank you.
Little Edie.
Mother wanted me to come out in a kimono. We had quite a fight.
Couple people watch PBS. Bane.
Nobody cared about me until I put on the mask.
Lucille 2.
Oh, bastard.
Varsity Blues.
I don't want your laugh.
Helpless girl in a superhero movie.
Help me. Masculinity is my kryptonite.
Delco girl.
Come on down to the shore, get a hoagie, couple cokes. It's gonna be crazy.
Star from Lost Boys.
Michael's great. I like Michael.
Lisa Left Eye Lopez.
I seen a rainbow yesterday.
Fran Lebowitz.
A bike is a toy. Okay? A bike is a toy.
And now Opie.
Beautiful.
No, it's funny. Who did that? Who put that together?
That was Chemistry on Twitter, or Jeff Barkas.
Which is it? Is it Chemistry or?
He's both.
Yeah. Calling yourself Chemistry is like calling yourself The Weeknd. It's a little too much.
Can you imagine me sending that in as my SNL audition? Like, we can't use any of these impressions. So I've got Star from the Lost Boys, Kate Capshaw. I'm sure that comes up for you guys a lot.
Well, here's the deal, though. People do like micro, and as we've memed it out, impressions are doing smaller and smaller impressions. They don't want to listen to a party of people like they used to.
Right. We don't want to hear what it would be like if Jack Nicholson did your entire set.
Right.
We just want to hear one split
One
second.
quick thing. Okay, you can do Jack. Move on. I remember when I had my club, people were always like, could you imagine if there was a Hollywood pot party and everybody, and you thought it would go like Jack Nicholson into, Desi Arnaz, into what, Bugs Bunny? Like there's a cartoon character smoking weed. Good pot, Doc. And you're like, I don't know. I think you're working too hard on the premise.
The setup is too much. Am I right, folks? I mean, this is what it would be like, right?
And I really don't need when someone goes out of their way to dress up and do the makeup exactly like the person. Just do the voice. That's all I want.
That's all you need.
I don't need you to go out and buy a costume.
Unless you're Jim Carrey and you can make your face look like the person. And that's just quick.
The Thrillers put out a list of the grossest foods in every state. And it only works if those people like it. You know what I mean? Like, it's only a great gross food if the people there consider it a delicacy and they eat the hell out of it.
Right.
Not just because it's gross food. So, scrapple, the other gray meat, to me is a fantastic breakfast meat. And I don't understand why people freak out about it, because it's a type of spicy sausage.
Yeah, in my case, of course, I grew up on it because you're from that area, my family's from that area. So to me, it was normal. But I don't understand why take scrapple and go, that's gross, but then a hot dog is good.
Right.
Like, if you're just going to find all leftover meats gross, that makes sense. But it's, I would say, even a superior flavor to a hot dog.
It's ears, nose, and bungholes. How can it not be delicious? A scrapple to me, but it's Haberset. I mean, there's scrapple I don't like because I think it's low quality scrapple.
I was up in the Poconos once, and I was at a diner and ordered scrapple, and it was not Haberset scrapple. Now, I don't want to say it was bad, but I would not want this to be someone's first experience.
Yeah.
Like, it was very challenging. It was much more leaning on the livery type flavors within scrapple. So it was, and like less just general pork flavor.
Now, New Jersey gets the Taylor ham and cheese sandwich, the breakfast sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, a pork roll, it's not as good as bacon or sausage. It's tasty. But what I like about it is the people in New Jersey who grew up on it swear by it, right? So that makes it a great local food. They're not just saying that. I mean, they would rather have Taylor ham and cheese than anything else in the world.
Now, for Florida, they have gator tail. Now, here's what I'm going to say. Fried gator tail is delicious, and your only fear of it is that you did not have access to it. Right. There's nothing offensive about that flavor. Garlicky. But like, it's good. There's nothing challenging. They're not like, ooh, I'm not sure the texture, the flavor. It's delicious. You just didn't have access to it. I assure you, if you have the chance to try it, you will not be freaked out by this food.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's not a comfort food. It's not like people in Florida sit around eating gator tail all the time.
Right. It's not as, common as something like scrapple.
You're eating it because it's gator and, hey, we're going to eat some gator.
Yeah.
Like, make a big deal of it. But you don't enjoy it on the same level.
Right. And it's not even as much of a staple as, say, the Florida grouper sandwich, what I would put as like more.
But that's not considered gross.
Right.
All right. So what do they have for New York, Chris?
For New York, they have the garbage plate.
All right. That's upstate New York. And I would give this a pass. This is true. The people in Syracuse, Rochester, they love their garbage plate, but it's a late night drunk thing to do. What's all in a garbage plate?
All right. In the garbage plate, they have hamburgers, cheeseburger, grilled cheese, eggs, home fries, baked beans, haddock, macaroni salad, Italian sausage, chicken tenders, anything they have in that. That's what they have on Thrillist.
It's almost like in the style of the way an English breakfast feels like a proper English breakfast. You're like, would you just have a bunch of stuff in the back? Like, none of this shit goes together. You just do a tomato on there.
You mixed it with eggs.
Why?
All right, give me Ohio. What is the Ohio?
The Cincinnati chili 5-way. Putting chili on spaghetti.
Yeah. I mean, that's weird.
I prefer not to do that.
No, I mean, you're going to throw it on some rice.
Yeah.
But I get that that's a local food. All right, give me California.
Goop.
No, I never even heard of this.
I don't know what goop is.
Okay, goop is, I don't even know. All right. It's the Gwyneth Paltrow website?
You're looking at the wrong thing, dude. I don't know what the fuck you're doing. It can't be the Gwyneth Paltrow website.
Oh,
why
is
would
this
they
like
eat
her?
that?
It's because doesn't she have like edible? She has like edible like face creams and body stuff because it's supposed to be all natural. So it's stuff. Her idea is you wouldn't put anything on your pores that you can't eat.
That can't be a fucking food. That's just made up.
Food sold through there is what they're saying.
All right, Hawaii has got to be obviously spam.
Spam, definitely.
Maryland does a stuffed ham, where they put there's a stuffed ham that they're known for. What all goes in there?
Okay, this is all right. It's a boiled ham, and it's filled with kale and cabbage. That's the most common thing stuffed with it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like that could be like a little bit weird to some people. Boiled ham tends to just be challenging in general.
Now,
I'm going to throw one out there. They have it as Alabama, which I've always thought was just a general Southern dish.
Yeah.
But it's ambrosia salad. And I have had to explain to New Yorkers and people not from the South what ambrosia salad is and why at random I'll just think about it and wish that I had it.
You love it.
I have not had it since I was a little kid. Chris, have you ever had an ambrosia salad?
I have no idea.
So it's a lot of fruit, mostly of canned variety. Like you would put like a mandarin orange, but you could also put like peaches. You could put maraschino cherries. You could put like fresh grapes in there. You put coconut, shredded coconut, and then marshmallow. And it's kind of fluffy. And for some reason, it's not, even though it seems dessert-like, it's put out with the regular like picnic potluck food.
Right.
So it's like a fruit salad that's way sweeter. And
it's white trash.
And it's very white trash. And I don't know why I love it. I mean, I guess I had it when I was a kid, and so I think about it fondly. But I didn't know that was in Alabama. I just thought that was a general Southern dish that I miss.
And they just called it ambrosia.
Yeah.
Texas, they have down the fried butter. I guess it's a deep fry.
I'm fine with
breaded butter and then fried.
Do they have a picture? I know there's some videos up on the iBank too, but I don't know if you got the time to go all the way through. Doesn't seem like this one can be good for you.
It looks like there's just butter balls.
Now you made it sound delicious.
Okay, yeah.
Just the name butterballs.
I do want a deep fried butterball. Absolutely.
Nebraska, they have as a hot beef sundae. And I don't know what it is, but it sounds disgusting.
All right, so it's instead of ice cream, the mashed potatoes are the ice cream, and the roast beef is the chocolate. So and it's topped with gravy, which would be the caramel.
That doesn't make sense. It's just fucking...
It's potatoes and beef.
Yeah.
Gravy.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
That's also known as food. North Carolina has something called liver mush. Liver mush.
It's pig liver and pig head and cornmeal.
Yeah, that definitely is challenging for anyone who did not grow up.
You better grow up with it, yeah. Now, Rhode Island has something they call the chop suey sandwich. So it's Chinese food. Now let's see what kind of bread they're using, Chris.
Okay, it's...
Please don't say white bread.
It just says 2 pieces of bread. I'll look up.
It's got to have the right kind of bread.
Guys, I'm just now imagining 2, like, chop suey on 2 white, like, Wonder Bread slices.
By the way, chop suey basically means leftovers. There's no one in Japan that ever ate chop suey.
I'm only seeing hamburger buns is what they use.
Like on a soft.
That's gross.
Yeah, that is pretty gross. I will give you that.
It's a hamburger bun.
Now.
Good God. Oh.
What are you good godding?
It just looks nasty.
Oh, yeah, look. They're only noodles, Michael.
Well, you ate chop suey before.
Yeah, but it seems unnatural with a bun just on top of it.
I know, but it's not good God and gross. You know what I mean? It's bread with food. If you had the bread on the side, you wouldn't be freaking out.
Now, obviously, Pennsylvania had scrapple, but I was not aware, and maybe that's just because your family did not do this, about the chipped beef, like that cream.
I had chipped beef when I was a kid, yeah.
I had it for the first time, only a month or two ago when I was in Philly. And I was like, how is this a staple? And they were like, oh, yeah. I mean, they were talking about it I chip beef once a week.
You know what it was from? Well, first of all, you were broke. And second of all, the guy's back from the service. It was a big thing from World War II.
Yeah, that's what they said, that World War II guys were, they were eating it on the ship. It's just it's just like cream beef, it's something on a log. No.
Shit on a shingle.
Shit on a shingle.
That
That's what it was.
was the nickname for it.
And, they were referring to that, and I was like, you're not selling this well to me.
Yeah.
But it's like a white white cream gravy.
Good.
I don't know.
My dad used to attack it. I ate it, but wasn't crazy about it. And then I remember thinking, man, are we in trouble? Fucking eating this again?
It's our second time this week.
I'm a little nervous now about this. Delaware has something called slippery dumplings. I'm not even familiar with.
All right, they take basically the inside of a chicken pot pie. And then it's over noodles.
Like over an egg noodle?
That's what it looks like, yeah.
Why are they calling it a dumpling?
I think because it's like they're trying to. I'll look up pictures of it.
Yeah, you can think whatever you want, but that ain't a dumpling.
What they're trying to do there.
I guess there's noodles in it, but it's not. The noodles aren't filled with everything.
To me, it looks like a frozen dinner. It looks like fucking shit.
It does look like a frozen dinner.
Hey, we are doing, and Chris, go to Washington, because we are doing Seattle GPS this Saturday on Deep Tracks. Seattle GPS Saturday on Deep Tracks. And Gail, you said you were having people write to us that they want us to come to Austin?
Yeah, a bunch of people are tweeting, please come to Austin, come to Moon Tower. Seems like people want us to go.
Do they want us to do 101 or just do the show? I'd rather do 101 if we got there. And I know they're going to want me to do an Unmasked with somebody that's there, but...
I would love to do one. We've never taken 101 on the road, so it would be fun to do it.
That is true. And we haven't even done 101 in a while.
It's been a little while, yeah. I'm ready for another. When was the last one? Late December.
Where? Stan?
The Stan, yeah.
Oh, that was with Anthony and Eastside Dave and Pat Dixon. That was a very fun night.
That was a really fun night.
Quebec is still trying to figure out that shooting thing, so nuts up there. What do they got in Washington?
Gooey duck. It's like a giant clam.
I didn't even know.
Oh, I saw this on TV, yeah.
Yeah.
The size of that clam is amazingly big.
And it looks very muscular, and it looks like a giant dick.
Yeah. It's like they eat like sashimi style.
Yeah, it looks very
But that
tough.
big? That isn't sashimi if it's that big. So you're not even cooking it?
No, sashimi would be like it's not cooked, over no rice, just raw strips of that clam.
That looks tough.
Yeah.
That looks like it's a tough clam because it's that big.
I know.
I like cherry stone clams. You get out bigger than that, and I'm like, this is getting gross now. I'm chewing on a clam.
It should be like a one bite situation.
I forgot what else we were talking about. I wanted to push something else. Can't even think of it. Something maybe else that we've got coming up.
Unmasked, perhaps?
Yeah, let's go ahead and throw out an Unmasked plug.
Unmasked with Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara is happening Monday, February 6th at 3:30 p.m. at SiriusXM Studios. You can go to theinterrobang.com for a chance at free tickets.
Up on the iBank today, too, is Bill Burr explains why Trump won't build a wall. He actually came up with a pretty good premise saying, look how long he goes, this won't happen for years. He goes, look how long it took to get the Freedom Tower going, and everybody wanted that. And I'm like, yeah, that really was years and years, like over 10 years before they even laid the goddamn first brick down. Conan is going to Mexico City. That article is up. And the notes from a comedy junkie. She called in today. She was great.
Yeah, what a sweetheart she is.
It was very complimentary to me, and it surprised me. Oh, the Mark Norman, too. You're going to love that. all the pics are up of Mark Norman. It's actually one of my favorites Phil's ever done.
Let me see some of these.
It's just basically him living his comedy life, and you're getting a bunch of slices of pizza.
These are great. Yeah, he's such a good photographer.
Yeah, he's great, man. I'm trying to get Adrienne Appalucci to be part of that. She goes, "Can I have my dogs in it? I have 2 dogs. I want my dogs to be in it." I'm like, "Yeah, your dogs can be in it." What's he going to do? Come up here? I go, "I'm not Phil." You know what I mean? You're asking me too many questions. I'm offering you something, and now you're going through the details, and I have to sell it. I can't stand when people just ask me details. I'm not in the detailed world.
That's not you.
Yeah. Well, does he come up, or is he coming up by train, or how's he doing
How long
this?
will the shoot be?
I can't stand that. It takes 2 questions before I freak out.
Does he provide hair and makeup, or is that something I do on my own?
When I told somebody I wanted to do the show, I go, "Contact Chris. He does all of it." And he goes, "Do you not want me to have your number?" I go, "Look, Chris handles that. If you fucking even give me a message, I'm not going to pay attention to it 5 minutes later. I'm telling you how to do this. I just feel better if I had your number." I don't even answer text.
No, you don't.
I'm almost off the grid. I'm on the grid enough, to be grid-like.
You're this close to being Ari Shaffir right now.
You mean in Orthodox Jewishness?
That too.
I saw your old buddy Dan last night at the stand.
Oh, how's Dan?
He's doing great. He's really, he just enjoys that whole life. You know what I mean?
He does. He's very in it. He's very in the moment. He's in his element. He's very happy there.
When I look at you and Chris and how much you hate radio, I'm like, you should find something that gives you the love and life that Dan has.
That should be more like Dan.
You know why people like comedy too? It's like you're out at night. You know what I mean?
It's true. It's social.
Yes, it's a very social. There's only a very small, here's the deal when I say in comedy. What's everybody's fucking favorite thing at work? When you take a break, right?
Mm-hmm.
Most of comedy is the break. And then there's a quick 15 minutes of work. And then that's them. That's how they spend their night. They feel like they worked.
Right.
They had a long night that was a break, fighting about everything and watching TV and screaming about Trump and the Patriots and, they're drinking booze or coffee and ordering food. Then they're like, shit, I gotta go up. They fucking run up on stage and then they come back and they're right back into their little fucking corner spot. And they feel like they worked all night.
That's why it makes sense that it's your social circle and that comedians date other comedians. It's like, who else are you gonna
Yeah, but they don't last.
I know, but I would imagine
it's like dating someone on break. That's what I'm trying to say to you. It's like break sex.
It is like break sex.
It's only meant to be short. What is Trump doing right now? He just said that he's joined ISIS.
Oh my God.
He's meeting with cybersecurity experts to sign a new order.
He's cybering with people.
He's bringing back new order. That's what he said.
Oh, nice.
How does it feel? Do you think Trump has gotten off to a good start or a bad start?
I think he's gotten off to a good start for his people should be happy with him.
Why? These things have failed for him.
Mm-hmm.
He's starting to build the wall. He's announced that.
He hasn't. He's announced
not
it.
One brick.
He hasn't built it.
What do you mean?
I think he just wants to shake. I think he wants to muddy the water off.
Yeah.
Up first.
I think this weekend was rough for him. I think
so
it was
too.
Really
I think
rough for him.
people are looking at it like it's a bad start. It doesn't mean that this thing won't get up and moving.
Totally.
But the start cannot be, and the fact that he's still talking about Democrats like he hates them.
Yeah.
And he's the president now.
It is a very bizarre thing to do. Last few presidents, or the last, presidents of my lifetime made their whole thing like, I reach across the aisle.
I'm the president of everybody. You realize that when you're the president.
Yeah.
And then you have an election and you fight hard, and then the election's over. And you might say the Democrats are dicks, when you're, talking to your wife or one of your buddies, but you don't go tweeting it out like he did today.
The Dems. You have to stop with the Dems.
The stupid Dems. He's just going to drop the N-bomb or F-bomb one day.
It's going to happen. He's too tweety. He's too accessible.
Emotional. You know what? I would say to him if I had 5 minutes, I go, are you the president of the United States or are you Jeff Tweedy? Okay? Because you're going to have to make up your mind right now. You can't be both.
President, I guess.
Say it again. What are you?
President.
Are you sure you're not Jeff Tweedy?
No, I'm not.
I saw that Fish is coming to Madison Square Garden for an extended run.
For like 2 weeks in the summer.
Are you going to see them?
I'll see them.
You'll probably see them every night for 2 weeks.
That'd be fucking great. I don't know if I can handle all that Fish, though.
Well, maybe if they did a lot of cover songs. not their own. Promise not to do your own music.
Just do Loving Cup for all fucking Tuesday night.
They cover some Dead, too, right?
Yeah, they do some Dead, like Scarlet Begonias. They do that.
Everybody does that fucking song.
Good tunes.
I mean, there's a million fucking good tunes by the Dead. For everyone just to go back to the same one. It's always amazing, a band that isn't, well, quite frankly, they're not popular.
No.
In the normal way of being popular. They don't have hit songs or hit albums, but they're going to do 2 weeks at Madison Square Garden.
And they'll sell out.
It's kind of the way
to the same 20,000 people.
Yeah.
But it's kind of the way we were talking about. There are certain people in comedy and, there are a lot of writers out there who have this level of fame where you can have an audience who loves the shit out of you, that'll follow you, but then you can walk down the street and have peace. They're like rock stars who have that. You know what I mean? Like they're musicians who have that thing where most people are not going to go.
If you're not the front man, you can walk down the street.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like everybody in Pearl Jam but Eddie doesn't have to fucking, they have to check into a Hamptons Inn. No one is even going to say anything.
Like, I'm in Pearl Jam. Really? Which one are you?
I mean, there's two guys in U2 that probably never get stopped when they're not with the other two guys.
Well, the other two, they're just like, so I know you're not the Edge. I know you're not Bono.
I mean,
who are you?
Look, the Beatles, all four were famous.
Yeah.
That's rare. That's a rare fucking thing for everybody in the band to be famous.
Because that's normally a pop act. That's normally a boy band or a girl group where you know everybody's face. It's not terribly common all the way across the board with all rock stars.
Even the Backstreet Boys, like I probably recognize one of them.
Right. Unless they have creative facial hair still, then you're like, I'm not sure which one.
Even that guy I'm not going to get. I think I would get the big blonde one.
I still get it mixed up with NSYNC. Like I think NSYNC members were in Backstreet.
I know NSYNC, one of those guys is Justin, but I wouldn't know the other NSYNCers.
It could be anyone from Backstreet for all I know.
And one of them worked here for a while, right?
Yeah.
Lance.
I recognize him.
Lance.
He was bold enough to come out as gay to an accepting world. The world was already accepting.
They were just like, yeah, we're cool with that, Lance.
Like, the world is so accepting right now, it would be easy for Mike Pence to say that he was gay. People would go, that's really brave.
Wow.
We also already thought about it a little, but yeah, okay.
That was Fez's biggest mistake. That would, if he would have came out like when we did Ron and Ron, it would have been gigantic.
It would have been like,
yeah, it would have been like, oh my God. Because people weren't that accepting then.
No.
Of AIDS.
And by the time that he did come out, everyone was trying to guess what his big secret was, and nobody guessed gay.
No. They thought he had come out years before.
They're like, oh, we just totally thought you were. Cool.
But back when he first started to do Fez, people were like this. What would you do if a gay person went in the pool and then gave everybody AIDS? That's how they were down there. AIDS thing, everyone acts like everything is the worst thing that ever happened. That AIDS thing was fucking frightening. And people have forgotten it, and Chris is out raw dogging again.
Yeah. People were telling you can't even sit on a toilet. They're like, I'm pretty sure you can get it from a toilet seat.
I get my results tomorrow, apparently.
Please let it be full-blown AIDS.
Oh my God.
I want you to learn a lesson. I want you to learn a lesson. You can't even die from that anymore.
All right, so, you know. I have to let other people know, though.
The doctor said the other day, no one can die from anything. We can keep pushing things off. We can keep people alive until we come up with a medicine that'll not really cure them, but they'll have to take the medicine forever.
You know, we were emailing, we got an email from Amy Miller last night, and then she's like talking stuff, and then at the end of the thing, she's just like, and wear a condom, Chris. Everyone's concerned. Everyone is concerned.
We'll find out tomorrow.
I'm concerned for the women, not for him.
Yeah. You've just spread it all over town.
After you fucking sprayed all over that Honduras girl who doesn't even speak English.
God.
She doesn't know who Bill Murray is.
And she got it orally.
Who does she know?
She doesn't know anyone. She didn't know who Bill Murray was, and it was someone else she didn't fucking know.
She was being fucking attacked just a couple years ago. Her whole village was torched.
She did say her family has bodyguards. I was like, no shit.
Really?
Interesting. Yeah. So I'm thinking, money.
No, dude. Money you don't worry about. It's drug dealing.
Oh, yeah.
To have bodyguards.
Oh, yeah.
And you're fucking around with that?
You're getting weird, dude. You're in trouble.
What are you going to do when Poppy finds out?
Oh, God.
You put that fucking spider dick into her mouth.
He just means because of the size.
Mm-hmm. You playing a dangerous fucking game out there.
Yeah.
Mobster's fucking wife, a fucking drug dealer's daughter, blessed daughter.
I guess I have a type.
And by the way, you think you know her, but you don't know Mr. Big that well. You might find out she's crazy pussy. She finds out that you're still Tindering after you've been on multiple dates with her. She might get super pissed.
You didn't bang Mr. Big, did you?
Oh, yeah. That's his go-to.
Well, who's the one that he didn't bang? You took her on a couple dates and never took the train to Bangtown.
No, that was the girl.
That's Mr. Big?
I eventually, went to Bangtown.
And now they're seeing each other multiple times. That's his go-to piece.
Unmasked?
Please.
I'll invite her. I'll invite her to a
That'd be great.
I would love it.
And you know what I'm going to say to Mr. Big?
Please don't reply.
Sure, I'll go like this. So nice to meet you. Chris has told us so much. How's your family in Honduras?
Please don't do that.
I don't have a family.
I love when you beg.
Christopher. I just assumed she already Christopher.
Stop that. It sounds like my mom.
Christopher.
Stop it. Very creepy.
Christopher, you swiped right on me?
Oh, God. My mom?
Yes.
Well, I'm just swiping right on everyone. It's good that we matched.
I can't wait to meet Mr. Big, and I'm just going to flat out say, which one are you?
I fucking...
Bring her in Monday.
Please bring her in Monday.
Yeah, she works nights. She's a bartender, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Yeah, so Monday would be perfect for her, 3:30. Unmasked. Go to the iBang. This will be the last day we give out tickets, but you'll get to meet Mr. Big.
Mr. Big will be there signing autographs on her Tinder pic.
Please don't.
She'll be loaded and ready for bear.
Oh, my God.
All right, that's it for us, folks. Thanks to our friend Kathleen Madigan for stopping by.
She's so great.
Love her. And we'll see you all again in 1974.
Ladies and gentlemen, the evening is over. We hope you all enjoyed yourselves, and we'll see you all again in 1974. Good evening!